Yes. Welcome back to another episode of Tall Can Tuesday. That's right. You're here with kpopRC. That's me. And you're on the YouTube channel kpopRC. What? No, that's crazy. Yes, we got a good episode for you guys this week. Man, I got a list. It's got tons of crap on it. We got guests. Man, we got guests. Maybe guests. Hopefully guests. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a surprise appearance a little bit later. I'm not sure. But yeah, we got Rick from Gear Guy's here, man. Gear Guy has made some really cool 3D printed stuff mostly for the drift community, starting to do some like crawling stuff and like a plethora of other sort of like RC related scale as shit. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So I'm glad to have Rick on here today. What else we got? We got, lots of fifth scale stuff happening. That's right. We're starting to collaborate a little bit with Scale Builders Guild. So we're going to be talking a little bit about, what's happening with that. So that'll be pretty cool. RS200, not a lot to report on, unfortunately, a week back after the Rona at work, and, you got to pick up the slack. So like not a lot of stuff that could happen, just kind of behind the scenes, still kind of resting up. But Nash and I did hang out on the weekend, and we got a lot of stuff done specifically for Scale Builders Guild's fifth scale. That he's going to be ripping. He's going to be ripping a couple of fifth scales from kpopRC, but there's one special one that I don't know if he's going to like, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, we got a what the hell. Man, I'm totally forgetting to crack a beer, man. What am I doing? Another one from the homeland. Delicious Polish beer. So good. So it's still like a freaking lager pilsner thing. So it's not like it's like thick enough to cut with a knife and a fork or anything. Yeah, then we got, we're going to talk a little bit about what Gear Guy's been doing. We're going to talk about his favorite race cars. Always interesting to hear someone's perspective, especially when they're actual mechanical engineer. So that's always going to be awesome. And yeah, we're gonna kind of show what we were doing with those Bajas. That's the plan. And of course, we got SAS Scale as shit shout outs for the end of the stream. So jam-packed. It's a jam-packed episode. Let's go to the comments. Scott Dieselman, what is up, buddy? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Let's see here. 713 Ace 529. What's up, buddy? Rudy, what is up? Let's see here. TJ, man. Always a pleasure. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Double Clutch, man. What is up? Brian, man. If you guys aren't checking out what Brian is doing on Double Clutch Production on YouTube, definitely subscribe to him. He's making like pretty much the coolest custom short course truck, like, solid rear wheel axle, independent front wheel kind of sand dune kind of trucks in 10 scale. And man, they are just like something else. The paint jobs are super cool. It's so awesome to see that stuff. So if you're not subscribed to him, definitely check him out. Thanks, TJ, saying smash it. Not smash hit. Jeez, man, I can barely read today, Junior. Let's see here. Left the road. What is up, buddy? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Let's see here. Nash is here for a beer. Then he's probably passing out. He's got early mornings, that dude right now. And he's got to make that Skrilla. So everyone say hi to Nash. He's probably already half in the bag, so let's see how long he can make it. Regulator 303, what is up, man? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Nash is telling me to drink more beers. Everyone's saying what's up. All right, so let's bring in a Gear Guy. Let's do that. I'm gonna drink a bunch of beer though first. Delicious beer. I even have the chug cam going, but it's just kind of showing off the custom drifters that we built, within the last year. So, but here, let's bring them in. Yes, Gear Guy, man.
Yeah.
What is
Hello,
up,
everyone?
buddy?
All
right.
good. What was that? I've been busy.
Yeah.
Super busy.
It totally looks like
well,
it because you've built you've got all those rims. I keep seeing on Instagram all of the rims that you're designing. We have actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I think it's a weird latency.
Yeah. That's what you see. There's a whole bunch that I've made that I've sent out and I forget to take pictures.
Oh, man. I guess there's so many that you're sending out that makes sense. That makes sense. Anyway, let's let me see here. Yeah, just speaking of which, hold on, I gotta share my screen when we have guests. it's a process. It's a process. Yeah, so you're using Fusion 360, correct, to do your wheels?
I'm using I use SolidWorks.
Oh, SolidWorks.
But I use a mix. So like I use SolidWorks for some things. I use Pro E for others and stuff like that. And I have access to this because of where I work at. So, it's
you have
cool.
you have access to the most expensive software.
I wouldn't say expensive, but it's the most user friendly. I would say it sometimes lets you do things that you can't do in others.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you can kind of see sort of through the flash of this time lapse. You can really see like how you can add parameters, and you can actually use, like relationships of size, right? Like you can say, I'm going to make this wedge, and then I'm going to like pivot it 20 times around this point, right? You can like tell it with math so that you can like add holes by just like telling it that you need 6 holes here instead of 5, and it'll do it. Like you're not
correct.
You're not...
So you can just, for example, that's what's called a circular pattern. So you just do one, and you tell it, well, this is my axis of rotation, and I want 5 of these, and he'll do 5. Right. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you gotta keep playing with it.
But that's kind of cool though, because like here I'm a sucker. I'll just end up like deleting all of my holes, and then I'll like make a 5-point star or whatever, and then I'll use the point of each of the star to do my circles to get 5. But like with you could just be like, I just need another evenly spaced hole that's this diameter within these 5 holes, and this is the center, and it'll just do it.
It's one of those things that I tell people. It's like there's a million ways to do what you want to do. And the program, depending on your skills and the program, one way might be easier than the other for you. So I can just add a star and add evenly spaced dots or holes and do one simple cut, and it cuts all 5 at once. Or I can do one cut and tell it, okay, just do a pattern around this circle. And then you'll get them evenly spaced. Or you can tell it, hey, I don't want them like equidistant from each other. I want 5, but I only want them to be 12 degrees apart. So he'll do it like a little flower. Like he'll do the 4, but it won't do a full circle equally spaced. So you can play around with it.
No, I mean it's super cool, man. Because it's like I kind of feel like I'm doing everything sort of geometrically, but I'm like I have to do everything mechanically to make it work. I can't. It immediately like vectorizes itself, or like not vectorizes it, like creates the polys. It doesn't. There's no relationship of the geometry using like math. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I got you. It's the limitations of the tool you're using, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. You just have to work a little bit harder to do it.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't even think they're like the version of SketchUp that I'm using. I don't even think that they're like adding you anything to it. It's like a dead version because it's like a hobby. They're not. Yeah, it's got some weird glitches, man.
So I did heard about a open source software that's cloud based that is free, especially for makers. It's called Onshape, and it's from the guys who actually made SolidWorks.
Oh, cool.
So the only caveat is anything you do in it is public.
Oh, interesting.
So anybody else can grab the file and use it because it just goes to a cloud-based library. However, if no one's looking for what you're doing, it's very hard to find, I'm assuming. But like you can use it. Like definitely you can use it, and it has online tutorials. It's very intuitive to do. And
is it siloed into itself, like where you can't export out compatible formats to other 3D software? Like, can you do like object exports or like STL
yes,
exports?
You should be able to, because the whole point of that program is for students, and you need to either 3D print, or you need to send to a machine shop, or you need you need to export the part. So yes, you can. The only caveat is it's public. Anybody can search for your part.
Find it. Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you, I would just name it a number and not call it anything special, so nobody can find it. If you want to keep it hidden,
that's smart. Don't give it any metadata. Yeah, don't feed it any metadata for sure. For sure. Anyway, so I thought that was cool to show, but I did, before we got on here, I did ask you what your favorite race cars are, and I think maybe we should start there, and then we'll go into what the hell. Yeah. So I asked you what your favorite one was. Yeah, and you were saying the Mazda 787B, which is like a 4-rotor rotary race car, right? Like could you have any history on this thing that you could tell us?
So, the only history I have, so to speak, is I fell in love with this car just by playing Gran Turismo, because it sounded heavenly. It sounded heavenly, and I loved driving it. I loved using it and everything. What gave me the most cool factor, or what called me out the most, is I actually got to see this in person. I actually got to touch a tire on it when I was a teenager. Nice. So they brought it to a mall that I lived close by, and I went there the entire weekend. They had it on display, and the very last day, the what?
I like whenever I see like F1 cars, or like I mean Indy, whatever, but like any like crazy race cars, when they got the like rope around, I'll always go over and I'll like try to like push it, because
so yeah, and that's what I poked the tire. That's all I did, because it's cordoned off. But the very last day, they actually had it apart. Like they had the back, the clamshell in the back removed. They had like the front end removed. It was a beautiful car, and it looks really good in the photos. But you got to remember, this is a race car, so you go look at it and you see all the dirt, you see all the battle scars, you see, like, it wasn't doctored up or anything. It was really I believe it was one of the sister cars that actually won Le Mans in '91.
Right.
So it was very nice to see. Too bad they didn't start it. They didn't want to start it inside the mall for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's too well. Yeah, rotaries are notorious, especially you got like two stuck together.
But yeah, I think a little bit of history on this. It was, I think there were some restrictions with engine sizes and how much power they could make, and they went like, well, we can do a 2.6 liter engine that'll do 500 plus horsepower.
Yeah, 10,000 RPM or something ridiculous, I'm sure.
So like that's how that came to be. The first year they didn't do so good, if I'm not mistaken, but after that, I think 91 and 92, I think is the years they actually won.
Right.
And then they got banned. They said no more Doritos.
No more rotaries. Damn.
No more Doritos for you.
I have some clips of the sound, so we'll listen to it. But this will trigger you. I guess you could paint your own cars in Gran Turismo. But this looks like a blacked out version that I saw from Gran Turismo.
So in Gran Turismo 3 and 4, there were two versions of these cars. Actually, I think it was in 4. You could buy a used one, and the used ones were always full carbon fiber, no livery on them.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's the coolest. Man, ticker tape. Now she's saying, all right. Saying the RS200 giveaway. Just so you guys know, we're doing like a raffle, and I'm building a full custom RS200. Yeah. So if you guys want to do that, super chat 10 bones. I'll add you to the thing. Get a number. But anyway, let's see here, because I feel like there's a bunch of people in the comments. Jay saying Aztec death whistle. I guess for rotaries for sure. OCC saying Doritos. Yeah, I'm telling you, the sound these things make is like nothing else. And what's crazy is how little vibration those engines make. I think that's like the craziest thing, and obviously how much they love boost. And yeah.
RC Racing Legend is saying that it made closer to 700. It depends on when it was racing, where it was racing, what class. definitely, I remember that the Renault version, the orange and green one, that was in Gran Turismo, and every time you got one of those, it was 500 horsepower, and I think it was due to restrictor plate sizes,
Oh,
depending
right.
on either depending on the track and or class that they were running.
Right.
But definitely, I think one of the years they went all the way up to 700, like something. It was stupid, like and NA too.
NA.
Like
Oh, it was
it's NA. Like it's not it's not turbocharged. So imagine putting two twin turbos on that sucker.
Oh man. Just a beautiful car. Just an incredibly beautiful car. They did come out with like a 30th anniversary kind of like model of the four rotor, specifically from that chassis. And I found pictures of it, and I just thought it was kind of cool to kind of show,
That's
like their
nice.
right. I mean, it doesn't move or anything. It's very much
but it's
stationary.
But it shows you just how compact that is.
Yeah, like I think there's one where it's like kind of fully assembled. Yeah, that's the intake, I think. Plenum. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of what it looks like. I don't know. Here, let's listen to it. I had to flip the image so that we didn't get copyright infringements. So just a heads up.
Oh yeah, this was like the anniversary, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, and that's the actual driver that drove it to finish line, I believe.
It's so funny how jittery it is in the lower RPMs.
I used to sneak my PS2 into the living room and just play this on the home theater.
I mean, it might look weird for you because the track is flipped horizontally, so the turns are opposite. Like you should be going, you know what I mean? Right? Because this is like
it's fine.
But man, what music? It's quite incredible. Anyway, I also thought this would be kind of cool. Oh, I didn't scale to frame size. Hold on. Check this out. So I thought, heck man, you can get these Lexan. No? Just saying. Yeah, that's what is it, Team C? Team C, I think, makes that body. So yeah, it's like ready to go. I'm not sure if it's 10 scale though. 190 mils. I think it is. Yeah, it is 10 scale.
Yeah. So surprisingly, this thing is actually tiny.
Yeah. So this one might actually be. It might be the MC, which is kind of sad. It might have a 10.
I'm 6'1", and that car was actually like this high.
Yeah, super low to the ground. Yeah. No, for sure. Anyway, I thought I would bring in these guys too, because this is the second. So this is the second car that that changed your life. No, maybe a little bit.
Yes. So a little bit of history. So I live in Puerto Rico. So I grew up there and everything. I just moved recently to the States about 4 or 5 years ago. But I've always been. My uncle is always very mechanically inclined, so he always had like old school cars. He had a freaking Chevy 2, he had a Malibu, a Nova, Camaros. So I was, as a kid, I was growing up. I was like, I want something with a V8. I always want one. But situation in the island and stuff like that is like most of the cars you see or that are affordable are 4 cylinders. So like a Hyundai Tiburon or a Corolla, freaking Toyota Echo, or a Tercel. So I'm spewing 90s cars because that's what most of us did there. And I loved watching this on TV because to me this was like, well, this is a road car, technically, a car that you can buy, and I'm seeing it on TV racing, So it made it sort of speak like obtainable. So I followed the team since the C5R was racing.
Right. Yes.
And this car, this chassis, was so dominant in its class that everybody else left.
Oh, crazy. I mean, it got more hips there, right? Didn't it? Like the C4 or the C5R was like a wedge. Like it was like truly a Corvette wedge. And then the C6 kind of gave it some kind of ass, kind of gave it some hips.
Yeah. it had hips.
Yeah, but didn't the C they maybe I don't know my history that well, but didn't the C5 had that one with the fog lights in the center, or was that like? I have pictures of it. We'll look at it in a second.
Yeah, the C5R had the extra set of lights in the middle where you would put the front license plate. So yes, yeah. I know, but as a kid, I didn't know that. It's definitely a ground up race car. Completely, it just looks like a road car. I believe it's Miller something is the ones who actually build these. They also, side note, they also build the Camaro race cars, but those for some reason are not as popular. And the cool thing that I remember was they dominated the class. Yes, they had their ups and downs, but I think they won like 3 years back to back on what was known as GT1 class. So they ran against the Ford GTs, the new versions. They ran against Aston Martins, which I think was the only team that actually gave them a run for their money. They raced against Ferraris, and they were still kicking their butts. Okay, and again, to the point, they were the only cars left in the GT1 class because nobody wanted to race.
Nobody wanted to race.
So they basically eliminated GT1 and GT2 and turned it into GTE.
How weird.
And GTE had less horsepower, less restrictions, to the point that when I believe it was the ZR1 came out or the C7 came out, they actually had to detune them so that they would fit in the class. So how good are you that you actually have to detune to stay in a class?
I don't
know.
No? They hit suction fans. Nobody knew about it. I'm just kidding.
And the cool thing about this was watching these guys battle out with the Aston Martins on the straights. Yeah. Because I think the Aston Martins had V12, so the Aston Martins had legs on the straight. But as soon as they hit the corners, these guys would just really reel them back in. It was so awesome just to watch. So
here's the C5R or the CR5 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, the 5R, yeah.
So this is the more wedged one that kind of doesn't have the hips. And then I saw this one, and is this the C5 or is this still a C?
That's still a C5. Yes, that's still a C5.
So this one's my favorite. I don't know what it is about the body shape. Maybe it's the buck teeth fog lights in the front that just like do it for me. But man, a beautiful body.
Yeah, the definitely those full yellow CompuWare C5Rs are one of my favorite. And then the C6Rs were just like a little step above that with the wider hips and the shape.
Can we just talk about how much I enjoy these like hand illustrated cross sections, like free?
These are pretty neat.
Man, I freaking every time I see these, I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. I don't know who drew this, but like somebody's using gouache, like paintbrush gouache, maybe, or freaking I don't know, pencil crayons or something. Man, oh man, it's so cool that they can do this.
I remember one of the times that I watched this, and I watched as 3 hours in, a freaking Ferrari ate a corner, blocked out the brakes, and took out one of the Corvettes, like just starting. I was like, oh, come on. The other Corvette had transmission issues, if I'm not mistaken, and then the one that got crashed into actually came back out like 2 or 3 hours later. and
Oh, crazy!
it's still made. I think it's still made top 10 on its class. After that,
damn. Well, they're fairly modular, right? These cars, like.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, but at the same time, like if it gets mangled enough, it ain't coming back.
True. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I'm sure they've got those like jigs where they like measure certain points where they know if this chassis was skewed. No, is that like a thing? Could have sworn maybe that's not a thing. Maybe I dreamt it.
I mean, when you're racing, what they do is they just try to bash it as straight as possible, and you go back out there.
Just a hammer, just like a rubber mallet. Get it straight.
I've seen not just the Corvette team, but other teams like transmission issues or something, and they can't get the thing out. You see them whacking out hammers just to get stuff out, or bodywork or sheet metal underneath the bodywork. Like they just hammer it, and if the fiberglass shell breaks, they just put tape over it. Like
Crazy.
from afar, they look great. Like from whatever the camera's recording them, like when they're broadcasting, they look great. But if you get up close, these things are beat.
Oh, they're beaten.
Like
down.
they're full of there you go. Oh, and these guys are rough. Like the guys who ran the Corvettes, like see that was I think the Porsche got penalized at the end for that because the Corvette gave him a nudge.
Oh, there.
But he had been holding up the Corvette the entire time. Also, like you're allowed to move. You're allowed one move on the straight. And once you move, you can't keep moving. In other words, you can't wedge him on the wall like that. He's already there. You know? And
well, I'm slow.
It just goes to show that's a Corvette, right? It's racing against Porsches, and it's just outrunning them, you know?
Bang!
I remember that.
That would have hurt. Oh my God, like straight in.
So what? The next race after that, I think the Corvette wrecked the Porsche.
Oh, did he? That's kind of awesome.
Yes.
It was a great class, man. There was a lot.
They got really aggressive. I think I remember this, and the Porsche in question had been holding up the Corvette for like over an hour, like blocking every single move, and he just got fed up and just, you know what, I'm just gonna punch you here at the last corner and just go right past you, and then he spun him out on purpose. So they got reprimanded anyways.
Oh,
and I think the Corvette team got penalized because they had to rebuild that car, so they can't qualify with the same thing, so they had to change some stuff.
Right.
So
right. Anyway, so check it out. So we got. I'm gonna move on to the next thing because I feel like you're a great person to have chat about this. But we're going to the next segment, which is what the hell? Oh man, what the hell? What the hell? So lately, I've just been looking at I don't know, just new and old race cars. I know we're talking a lot about race cars, but this is great motive or inspiration for the things that we build and the things that we do. And I thought it'd be great to kind of show off my inspirations. And lately, those have been like Pikes Peak, only because I don't know if I'm falling in love with these massive arrows, like these wings. It's just, and you know, diffusers and what have you, and it's nutty, man. So this is the Volkswagen IDR. It's a full EV, just race car. It's specifically built for Pikes Peak, and I think this is the 2022 winner for the electric class, which is pretty crazy. Oh, Tyler, thanks a lot, buddy. I'm gonna add you in right now. Sorry, gear guy. I'm going to cover your face for a second because I need to. All right. The T. Oh, this is a massive T.
That thing is insane, dude. Right? Like, that's a life-size RC car. That's what you're seeing there. That's what it would look like. How fast it would go.
Sweet, Tyler.
RC cars don't go to scale speed.
Oh, true. The RC cars are faster still. somehow. Oh, sweet. No, wait. Okay, hold on a sec. Let's just save this. We got another guest. Let's see here. Another guest. All right, we're gonna add him to the stream. Oh, look who it is!
It's some jerk.
Yeah, some jerk named Matt. Is he? Yeah. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right.
Oh
my God, are you like interior decorating, or are you just like faking your background? What's going down there?
Just faking the background. Hello. How are you, gentlemen?
Just chilling out. We're looking at
how would you?
I thought I would pop in and say howdy.
Yeah, we're just looking at like basically full-size RC cars that sound like RC cars. Like what?
That's pretty cool. Let's see that dude jump around. The marshal was like, ooh, yeah. Ooh.
It's just, I'm pretty sure everybody next to it had goosebumps.
Yeah, no, everybody, if you watch this video, this Pikes Peak lap or whatever, every time you can hear the crowd, every time it passes, they're like, holy shit. Like you can hear people just swearing. It's quite great.
And it's funny because on video, it doesn't look that fast, but I'm pretty sure if you're right there next to it.
Is that electric?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Oh, sounds so good. People get all cranky when it's like, well, I don't hear the motor. It's like, yeah, but that sounds just as cool to me.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like a Holmes Hobbies Outrunner motor.
Yeah.
There's some instances where it even sounds like a jet just taking off, like the power up.
It's like a mix between. What's up?
Do you have any of the Spearling McMurtry car that was at Goodwood?
I do. Although I may have deleted it. Hold on a sec.
Sounds crazy too. For another all-electric car.
Yeah, we were checking it out last week because it sticks to the ground. That thing is just like nutty. That almost looks like it's just not real. It just doesn't look real to me. So, right? Well, I have it. I just have to find it. 68, it's live 67. Oh my god!
Did you also see the Lucid Air running on Goodwood?
Yeah.
No, I missed that one.
I missed that one too. Damn. Anyway, here I found it.
It's tall can Tuesday, isn't it? I'm having a tall can.
Yeah. Oh, what? Nice. Oh man, I'm like, people are telling me to drink in the comments, and I'm like, still not.
Coors Light though, so it's not really beer.
It's okay. I'm not even drinking beer. This is just Coke.
It's the beer. Yeah, it's the beer you drink when you need to drive home.
So we're wrapping.
Don't drink it. I'm just kidding.
Don't tell people that. Yeah, that thing is so
Some
sick.
people might believe it.
Right?
We have a fan of the fact that creates 2,000 kilos of downforce.
How British?
3,000 kilos of downforce.
So awesome. It's so awesome. Anyway, oh wait, I'm moving ahead, and I shouldn't be. All right, cool. Let's see here. This is another one. So this is another one that was Pikes Peak. Suzuki. It's a Suzuki SX4. So it's basically like a little like grocery getter, little tiny freaking hatchback or whatever.
1998 Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Right? There you go. Oh man, the Viteras. They used to. Those were like had forged piston stock. You could put those Vitera pistons.
So
in your
this is the successor to the Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak from Gran Turismo. This is what that is.
How many people want that car? No. Is that one of the ones you get? Right?
It's one of the ones that's hard to get sometimes. It looks just the same. Look, it looks exactly the same.
In terms of like power to weight ratio. Like
so not only power to weight ratio, but physically it looks almost the same. The whole front wing and the big wing in the back, it's almost identical. It's just that the Escudo was actually, like Matt said, a Vitara. So it was like completely flat nose in the front.
Right.
See how many people are like crapping their pants as that thing goes by, because it's like this close to losing it on every turn.
Well, it'll slice you too, because look at that. Look at the front.
Yeah,
end.
that wing is ridiculous.
Oh, but also, so I've heard they're paving it all the way to the top next year. So this is the last year that they're going to be on gravel and dirt, which is interesting, right? That's going to change a lot of things. I don't know. It gives me those like
cool
Group B vibes. No, it gives me that rally vibes.
It's right along the lines of that Ford RS 200. You know, all those like super rally monster cars, man.
Right. Have you ever heard of the Porsche Cayenne? Ah, cool. Does he sound like the future? All right, cool. I'll check.
It sounds exactly like my my hybrid Jeep.
There you go. What the hell? All right, we got one last one, which I thought I would show you guys, because this is a prototype car from like 1979. I think it became like a functioning prototype in like 1981. And it was this video, man. Oh my god.
That intro brings back memories.
Anyway, look at this stupid thing. Oh man.
That's not a car. It's a skateboard.
Right? Like, I don't know, or it's like a Dolph Lundgren film car, you know?
Who made
like,
this? Who made this?
This is what's it called? Why can't I remember?
The Aston Martin Bulldog, wasn't it?
Bulldog, yeah, Aston Martin Bulldog. And I think when it came out, they were like, "This is the first production vehicle that can go 200 miles per hour." So, so the whole thing
Those
is that
tires.
Yeah, right.
I think Matt's skateboard is faster than this thing right now.
Hey, you know what? It exists. It's a real thing. You can go buy that skateboard. I don't even buy that thing.
You can't buy this thing. There's like one, and somebody brought it to Goodwood this year to try to get it to go 200 miles per hour. And this is fast. This is how fast it went.
Sounds a little slower. Sounds a little pedestrian.
It kind of sounds a little bit like a Toyota Corolla. A little bit. Maybe we can. Well, maybe not.
Okay.
Actually, I think the new GR Corolla probably sounds better than that.
Yeah, I kind of want one of those. Is it ever going to come to North America?
It does have that sort of 1552 style cover over the wheel. Maybe that sucks air in. Brakes cool.
I don't even think those brakes are warm.
He's waving as he's going by.
He's drinking his coffee or his tea.
Oh my god, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, right? It's not that fast, But anyway, there was like so many articles about it. Like they slowed down their shutter speed to make it look faster.
Miniature Speed Shop is saying it looks like an obese Lamborghini.
It does look like, right? It looks weird. It really does. Oh, this is what they used to do. This is how they used to design cars.
So I wanted to design a car that had a wheel in the front and a wheel in the back. Then
I like boobies. So
cheese. This is car designing. Well, I guess so.
Well, in the 70s, sure, right? Like,
I guess it's a concept.
I just thought I would play this because I thought it comes together in 3D pretty nice. Like the guy obviously.
Okay. All right.
Well,
it was looking a bit skateboardy at first, right? There.
It doesn't look like my girlfriend's trying to draw a car, but then like all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait, no, he knows.
He really knows what he's doing.
RC Racing Legends also, not only for liability reasons, but a lot of the prototype cars aren't even like full-on working cars. Like they probably have a smaller power plant just to get it to move, just to get it rolling, not necessarily.
They're all clay underneath.
Yeah, right there.
And a lot of them are. Some of them are actually full-on like
drivable
built. They're like pre-production, but they're fully built. And my printer is beeping because it ran out of filament.
Oh, no.
That's the sound of a Prusa i3 Mark III Plus.
That it is.
You
That
like
it
to
is.
tell.
I'll be right back.
It's got a very distinct
PG?
oral sensation.
Nice. All
I
right.
said oral.
Matt, man,
So I saw the title of this video and I was like, what?
I was waiting for you. We can check it out. Hold on.
Oh my. Hey, there I am.
Well, there you are. We were just laughing about this on the kpopRC Facebook group, so I thought I'd play it because people were laughing.
What's a Facebook?
Oh, what have I done? What have I done? That's weird.
We're gonna do the show like that next week.
I got to meet.
You guys are crazy, man.
You guys,
you got a dart in your neck.
I do.
Do?
My favorite part in that scene is when he grabs the kid by the head and just like throws him out of the way before falling into the pool or whatever. Man. Anyway, here I'm gonna play a little bit because like I'm this is gonna be a dedicated video on.
Okay.
Okay. So this is just kind of like it's usually like on the live streams I'll just like show people like what we're working on or whatever. So so this is a good example of what's happening. Although I was gonna kick Gear Guy off before you came on, but I don't know if Gear Guy wants to hang out. You can if you like.
I won't be here long, so
okay, cool. So I'm gonna show you this and then I'll kick you off. No, I don't know. Or you leave when you feel the need.
making wheels.
All right, here.
Well, hello everybody.
Oh shit, we're back. All right, so what we're doing, I guess, we're gonna rip up these Bajas, man. So we got two Bajas. This one's actually probably gonna go to Scale Builders Guild right here. This one, so he can rip and race with us as well.
Subscribe to Scale Builders Guild.
Oh yeah, subscribe to Scale Builders Guild if you haven't for sure.
Just so you guys know, I definitely left a link to Scale Builders Guild at his YouTube channel. So definitely go follow him. Cool stuff. So definitely check him out.
Got some cool stuff going. And then we got the kpopRC caged monster that we're totally gonna make into a camera car.
Nice.
Yeah. So here, so I should probably give a little bit of backstory about this. You guys know, Scale Builders Guild, Matt down here, local to me, right? Local dude doing the same kind of stuff as us, like we're doing art and stuff. And yeah, so like it makes sense to do like a little bit of collaboration or like I don't know, like man, you can hold the camera, I can hold your camera, we can do cool stuff together. And here I am, and I bought 5 Bajas or whatever. There's actually 7 of them. And man, what are we gonna do with 7? I can't drive 2 Bajas.
I can't. I'll help you drive one.
Yes, 1. Perfect.
Oh, you can't drive 2 at the same time? Come on.
Well, I can, but I'll probably hit all the curbs.
Listen, Nash did it, and he covered my camera. But well, I put it in harm's way. You should see this shot just for fun. I put it in the opener, but like it was sluggish, so I had to play it again. Check this out. It's nutty. All right, so this is my expensive camera.
It was your expensive camera.
Look at it.
Oh.
I hope you have a lens protector on there.
Like a UV one, but it doesn't matter. The sand's gonna get in the
I gotta ask a quick question.
What's
Is
up?
NTN the livery that's on the truck on the left there?
Yeah.
NTN, is that the old trivia network?
No, it's a bearing company.
Okay.
I think
Right.
it's North American. I think it does sell to like States and Canada, but yeah, we were sponsored by them for a while. We were getting all our bearings for $0.
Nice.
$0 bearings is a good deal.
Man, we like.
Check it.
Oh, you gotta replace the boots.
Oh, I did. Yeah, we replaced all the boots. We replaced the axles.
Get brand new freaking boots on both sides. We also replaced the axles, but just with stock axles. Didn't go anything fancy. All right, look.
Oh man, so I don't know if you can see the freaking pinion here. The one on the right, I mean, maybe it's just a little out of focus.
Yeah, it's chewed away.
But yeah, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
Some metal bits.
Just taken out, man. So we replaced
Just
that.
just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That's like Nash's permanent posture there.
Matt.
Laying back, sticking stuff in the truck.
57 stock one.
So this is before we found out there were some like fairly critical issues with this particular Baja.
Yes. Okay. So I got.
It ended up taking a couple of days to fix, but we did
Go
it.
get gas because it's getting like late. I think 3 point what?
3.78. 3.7.
I don't think you guys need to watch me drive the Subi, although the Subi made an appearance. You can hear the turbo. It's awesome.
I've seen that car parked around before, and I put a banana in the tailpipe every time I see it.
What? I mean, you probably have to put like 4 or 5 bananas.
Yeah, it's probably loaded with bananas by now.
Yeah. That would explain a lot.
That would explain your crappy gas mileage.
Oh, man, I don't know. It's my lead foot. Yeah, that's what it is.
3.8 though. It's like the first time seeing like fresh fuel in quite some time, like 6 years.
So actually, we were given this Baja by a good friend of ours who used to race with, and it's just sitting in his attic or whatever, collecting dust. So he did bring it to us, but he hasn't run it. So I don't think he remembers what happened to it when he stopped running it, and like exactly how it was put away wet. You know, the gas tank was filled with like varnish from just fuel evaporating and leaving the two-stroke wheel, which is kind of crusty. So we got rid of all of that, and then now we're gonna try to start it, which
is probably the first time it's got a first tank. So we gotta hit this with WD-40. Let's put a battery in it.
Well, that's something that I don't know if everybody does or not, but if you spray your RC car with WD-40, it adds about $200 to your Facebook Marketplace purchase price.
And then I guess I'll put my receiver in it. This
just like the dealerships do with used cars, that just armor all the entire engine bay.
Yeah, there you go. Although I feel like now, because there's like the plastic cladding all over everything, like it's always
it still makes it worse. Everything sticks to it.
True, yeah, it does. It does. Although, like with the fifth scales, I did notice if there's a layer of WD-40, you can actually like crust off the dirt, and the dirt will actually fall away and
it'll flake right off.
Yeah, in an actual car is annoying. On a Baja or RC car, it actually helps you get rid of the mud off of it.
Performance. It's a performance enhancer. Hey, we have the same radio. 3PMX.
That's my that's the Baja radio because I was just my extra one. But yeah, totally, it works really great.
Killer radio, man.
And then we try to
Cave up, unplug it quick. It's a servo. The servo's melting. K-pop.
Are you guys cooking hot dogs in there?
Oh, the smoke.
We were.
You can still see the smoke.
But so what ended up happening was like, okay, so you have that same radio, so there's like 2 modes that Futaba had, right? And it was the PPM and like I can't remember. It was like a digital one and an analog one, and I didn't realize. So my radio was set on digital, and that was sending like digital pulse width modulation through the, through the signal wire. And I think that's just like the frequency is too high, and it makes the motor jitter so much that it overheats the motor, and it just like melts it. Yeah. So that's what happened. Yeah, been there and done that too.
Can I offer you guys some advice? You should do this with more light.
Yeah, we're trying. Actually, it gets a little better when we put a big LED light. Also, Nash knocked over my light, and he broke my.
The steering or the throttle, but they just all stop working.
It's fine.
And then just like obviously the magic.
Well, you should see my actual B-roll. Like this is an action cam, and I actually like shot some really, really pretty footage. So this episode's gonna actually be quite polished, I hope. This is just the narrative, like vloggy stuff.
I will say that the amount of times that I've been watching all of this fifth scale stuff, I have been searching a lot of Facebook Marketplace just to find one. Now I don't need to. So that's good. Yeah. I'll probably end up buying one anyway.
I don't know if you will. You know what? Because we went out and we ripped these, and then I'm trying to put myself in your perspective, in your shoes of a new RC fifth scale driver, and then also like your experience with the Losi Super Ray, which is
Super
already
Baja
a
Ray
large
2.0.
vehicle, and
Yeah.
it's electric, and it doesn't make noise. The thing about these things, man, is that if you have a neighbor, they're gonna hate you.
Well, I have those, but I don't drive them around here, so I always go to where there are no people.
We went to Lambton. We went to the Lambton Arena.
Right. Yes, that's the spot. That's the
As-
spot, baby.
As I found out, fifth scales will disintegrate their bodies by just driving around normal.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? So the body we're giving Matt has some kind of like rubberized spray. It's not Plasti Dip, but it is definitely a heavy body, and it does seem like it's holding up a little bit
good.
more.
I took my Losi 5 to Hyperfest, and literally all I did was rip it around on the grass. And they had a plastic ramp. But it wasn't a tall ramp or anything out of the ordinary. The standard like ramps for RC cars, just to do a little like 1 foot jump or something. And that was enough to literally shred the body. Like the front
Ones
the front
don't like
hood
abuse.
and front fenders just cracked, and it broke completely off. I lost one of the rear fenders, and the main cab is cracked as well. So
Yeah,
like,
so
wow,
guy,
it's like
people use drywall tape and shoe goo in certain areas to get it to be really strong. Other guys just go with the N30. It's like North Degree 30. It's a company, and they sell basically Rubbermaid container material bodies specifically for the 5. They're not super expensive. I think they're like $60 or something, and they are pretty much indestructible. I've never seen any one of those tear or rip.
I've
Yeah.
seen
I'm gonna look into
people
that
have good
because
luck
it
with
literally,
Gorilla
like,
Tape, too.
it literally just disintegrated by just driving it around.
You think it's a clutch spring?
Less than a tank of gas, and it was spectacular though, because it jumped, and in the air the whole hood came off, flying off like the actual race trucks.
I'm telling you, there's N30 bodies. Anyway, so this is what we were going through to get this Baja running. We were like, yeah, it'll take 2 hours. We'll get the Baja going. We'll go rip. We ended up like spending the whole day working on this thing, and then the next day we went running because like turns out the clutch spring had snapped. There's 2 clutch shoes, and they're pushed apart by centrifugal force from the engine, and there's a spring that holds those shoes together, and that's what gives you the tension or the RPM engagement point. So the stiffer the spring, the higher the RPM you need for the clutch to engage. So so what ends up happening is the clutch wears out, and then it needs more distance to engage. And it's because it's driven by centrifugal force over time. If there's too much play, that spring will just stretch and pop off, which is what happened because the clutch shoes were so worn. So here's the clutch spring. The spring like pulled itself apart, and here are the shoes. So you shouldn't see any shiny metal. And usually there's at least a solid 1/4 inch of like friction material on these, and so it takes a lot to get it to wear out this much. But did it ever?
This one got a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it was raced a few times, and it just chewed up the clutch bell as well. The clutch bell has this like half moon wear shape. So we just replaced it all, man. We replaced it all.
I'm stoked to give it a shot, man.
Oh, just wait till you see this. Yeah, it's so sweet. Yeah, Lambton.
Great spot. I've made so many videos there now, all because of you.
Yes, but it would be much better if it had rained. It hasn't rained in like a month and a half here at this point.
Yeah.
So all of my camera gear is just caked with sand.
That's why you need a really long lens, so you can be like 40 feet away.
Like a sniper lens type of thing.
I got one. and I got a couple of really great long shots. But this one, I was trying to do super slow mo. You know, look a shot. Is it worth $1,500 to replace the camera? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
See, that's why I use the
Oh,
GoPros.
that's a great
'cause
shot, though. Look at that.
If you do break the lens, it's like I think it's like $25 to replace the lens, and that's it.
Yeah, but these are all like zoom lens. Like I need
Yeah, you
and
can't
I
get
need,
this
like,
kind of footage on a GoPro, though.
Oh no, most definitely not. But I'm saying
that.
that's what I use when I do a shot like that, so I don't wreck the camera.
Sick.
Oh, I've got those. I should probably trim.
That camera car looks great, man.
Right, it looks good. I didn't dump the footage on that little camera that's sitting there, but that camera actually does a very good job.
Yeah, I know. I've seen all the Baja race stuff you've done with it. It does look really good.
Yeah, but not in the forest. When there's gobs of light, it really shines.
Oh yeah, it really does well. Yeah,
I did
like any action cam, you need
Ray.
light.
I did a Baja Ray video in the forest, and it was just like gainy as all hell. It just couldn't do it.
Did you put a color? Did you put a LUT on this already, or is that just straight out?
No, this is straight out of camera. Yeah,
That looks really good.
pretty good. Like I didn't even like crush the blacks or up the whites or anything. But
Oh,
so
you
this
already drove it hard. I don't want it now.
it's been hard all its life. It's been hammered, man. It's been hammered. But like in the best way.
Yeah.
Look at it go sideways.
The slow down sounds like an actual engine, like an actual like V8.
Yeah, that's amazing. I am very much looking forward to that. We're gonna have to get together soon.
Yeah, we are like ready. So like we did the shakedown, man. It's like ready to go. It's just And you know what's funny? This whole time we were there for 2 hours, and I was setting up shots or whatever. It doesn't matter. But we only killed one tank, the whole day. One tank. It's nutty, just nuts.
I believe it.
I'll give it. Whoa.
That's why they're scary. That's what I was telling Brian, man. Brian's like, I want a 50. So my girlfriend shoots all of our videos. I'm like, she's gonna be scared, man. Like these things are.
That thing coming at you is dangerous.
No, it's what 25 to 40 pounds coming right at you at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's what I'm saying. So like this thing at 20 miles per hour can take down a 1-inch thick sapling, and it would just like not even know it happened. You know, it's got so much mass that it would just. Oh,
He's like, what was that? He's like, hey.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
It's ready to go. It's ready to go. So we're
thank you for inviting me to try it out. I can't wait.
Yeah, well, so we'll probably come to Lambton first, so you can get a feel for it, and then you can tell us if you hate it or not, or if you just like don't even want to deal. And then on the 1st, so like the civic holiday, so the 31st of July, we got there's an actual race. So if you actually want to, come down and hit some laps, then that you're more than welcome to come out for that. I'm not paying your entry fee though.
No, I'll pay for that, but I may take you up on that. It all depends on my availability, but I'd be stoked to come and do that. So
regardless
keep me posted on that, please.
It's like a full day. You're going to be really tired. You'll be in the sun a lot. So maybe Lambton will be a good first go at it, so that it's just like, hey, 2 hours, we'll go hit it for a little bit.
Sure.
And then you can, if you want, you can even take it home. All right. You can take it home if you want. I feel bad. It's going to be
trade
like gasoline, and it's probably going to be covered in sand.
Well, I've had nitro, so.
Oh, okay. So it's actually a lot
similar.
It's a little bit better than nitro in the sense that there's less oil, I feel.
Yes.
So it doesn't.
It's not as greasy.
Things aren't so sticky. You know?
Perfect. Okay, man. I have to run, but thanks for letting me hang out on your stream tonight. I hope everybody has a great night, and great to meet you, Gear Guy. And I'll talk to you soon, K-pop.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Nice,
for sure.
Nice to talk to you. And I'm watching that hauler build that you're making.
Hey, all right. Yeah, there'll be an update Thursday for that one.
I need to know what you're hiding behind that wall, man. I need to know what was in there.
Nah, it was literally one of those Kyosho phasers. I just stuck it in there to see if it still fit.
It was the Tundra, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Have a great night, guys.
All right, have
Take
a good
care.
one.
Likewise.
See ya. Yeah.
You cut him off.
No, he did it. He cut himself off. It was funny. He was like, "I love you." It cuts. Hilarious, man. Everyone's saying good night. So thanks a lot, Matt, for coming out and hanging out. Definitely going to be seeing more of that Matt guy. So hopefully you guys are into it.
No. Remember what he put down? That's some jerk.
Some jerk. Oh, right. No, he's like, come on, maybe no.
No, not at all.
But yeah. We did. Everyone's saying so. Rudy's even saying later, Matt. Everyone's saying what's up, and then let's see here. Aldrez, paddle tires for wintertime.
Skis and paddle tires.
That's awesome. I don't know. Yeah, I need to get paddle tires for a bunch of these Bajas. Nash and I have been talking about it a lot actually, because it would be great to have 3 of these things just ready to go on paddles, so we can take them to like some kind of dunes, some kind of like, I don't know, glacially formed sand, geologically placed there around the Great Lakes. There's a couple of them. So there's Michigan dunes, which is like 8 hours away from us. But then there's like a couple of them on the east side of the Great Lakes. So we'll see what happens, but that would be super cool. How is your 5th scale? Do you get to run it a lot, Rick? Rick, do you run your low C5 a lot, or do you sell it?
No, when I mean I can run it in my house, in my yard, but it's enough space to run it, but not enough space to run it where it's entertaining.
Ah, yes, okay, that makes sense.
So like the driveway is long enough to get it to full speed, but either it's too narrow in the sense that it feels too narrow because that thing is going like 40 miles an hour down your driveway.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I have concrete on both sides, so if it hits one of those sides, it's just gonna tear itself apart.
There you go. Yeah, no, it will. It will. You got to find like, I mean, get paddle tires for it, and then like go and find like a big mound of dirt somewhere.
So I was this close of taking it to the beach with me one time that we drove down, but literally as I got off, there was a big sign on the boardwalk that said no engine powered anything, not even electric.
Man.
So like no electric scooters, no ATVs, UTVs, or any engine powered vehicle.
Man.
So it's like,
no. Damn. Where's that? What state? You're in Techno.
I'm Virginia.
Virginia.
There is some spots where I can go. It's just I just need to plan out and head out. Right. I did took it to a 1/10 scale nitro track. It was too big for it, obviously, but I was still able to get some speed, and it was actually able to go through the course pretty good. And that was fun. And everybody there was like, man, that thing is sick. Like everyone was running. People were running like $2,000 boogies, and they were like, man, that thing is sick.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's a good time, especially on sand. So like, you know, there was a while back we went to the Michigan dunes, and yeah, it was just a whole bunch of Baja 5th scale guys. There was a bunch of Losies there, so 4-wheel paddles, and then there was a bunch of guys that were running alcohol. So these guys were tuning the carb. It's impossible to start on alcohol, but once you get it started, it'll run. And then, so I think Shred Head or whatever the hell his name was, he had an alcohol running with nitrous. So he had a little nitrous kit, a little like nitrous express kit. And he was doing like dry shots of like 50 shot of nitrous into this 2-stroke engine. And it was just like, it was doing these crazy wheelies in the dunes, and it would like flip, but it was so cool. Like I feel like that was the coolest part.
You just reminded me that when I started in the hobby, I went to my local hobby shop, and the guy behind the counter was actually building a rotary OS motor, like for helicopters, the rotary ones that OS used to make. He was building that for a drag car, and he had a little CO2 bottle with a custom like nozzle and everything for nitrous.
Yeah, no, because I was looking for it because I'm like,
what?
No, because I'm thinking, because I got all these Bajas. We're like, what are we gonna do, right? I'm like, Nash, what are we gonna do? We got all these Bajas. What have I done? Like, what have I done? And then I'm like, so I started Googling like nitrous kit, like the smallest nitrous kit. So they have them for sport bikes. You know, you can get little like nitrous. They almost look like CO2 cartridges, but they're nitrous.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Some that run off of those. I mean, you don't get a lot of shots. Like you probably get it like 3 or 4. But then nitrous oxide or whatever, the NOS brand or whatever, has a larger one with like a larger tank, but it's like $700 freaking dollars, whatever. But so this was the coolest thing, and I'm sure it's kind of viral. Maybe it won't work out, but it would be cool to do a 12S Baja against a 32, 29cc, 32cc nitrous, Baja
Now,
and against each other.
Now, would you do that on the dirt, sand, or on tarmac?
Oh, tarmac, I think. You know what? No, let's do it all three. Forget it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Because then you have things. You're like, okay, well, one on tarmac, but it's got too much torque off the line, and it can't put the power down. You know what I mean? So that could be really cool. Where's Nash? I know. Aldrez, Nash is being a responsible adult, and he has a job early in the morning tomorrow.
Nash is doing what I'm supposed to be doing in a few.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to go, by the way. Like, Rick, man, don't.
No, I can stay for a little bit longer. I guess, like I said, I can stay till around 11, and that's pretty much the most of it.
Yeah, no, I was like Nash for a while. Like, he wasn't working, and then COVID happened, and then it was like not working, and now he's working, so we don't see him as much. Pavo, man, where's Pavo here? It says Trish. So hello, Christoph. Oh yeah, he's asking me if I come from Poland. Yes, I do come from Poland. I'm sorry, I don't identify as like super Polish because I spent 98% of my life in North America. But yes, my blood is from Poland for sure. From Warsaw, born in Warsaw. And then 3 years later, I moved to Canada. We escaped communism in '87. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just left, man. It's terrible. What a terrible thing. Anyway, whatever. I'm sure there's other people who have had. Wait, let's stop talking about this. I go to Poland like a bunch of times. Like I've been there a few times. I have family there. It's still a Polish person for sure.
Yep.
Anyway, Polish light. That's right. Racing Legends knows. Racing Legends, man. I'll come to Michigan, man. Trust me, we'll go at some point. Maybe when the dollar when the gas prices get a little bit lower. I feel bad. I was telling Guillaume Aldrez that we're gonna come up north, and I'm like, now I'm trying to price it out. Oh my god, it's $900.
I used to drive to my brother's house, and it's like, yeah, if I drive, it's like $150, round trip and gas. Now it's like, now it's like 500. So
yeah, like what? Like it's massive. Massive. And here I am with a tuned Subaru that doesn't it doesn't adjust boost. It's like always 18 psi. Like it's always there's no like the stock ones. It's like, okay, there's eco mode. You can go 8 psi, whatever. No, and then I've got the little gauge that tells me how many like liters per when you step on it. It's bad.
It goes to like 99.
Yeah, it maxes out, and then I was laughing with Nash. He's like, is that your average? I was like, yeah. Do you want to see real time? Like turn it on real time, and I just like accelerated. It was like 40, 60, 80, 90. I was like, oh.
So before this whole fuel thing started, like I sold the Camaro. Family's growing and all that, so I got the SUV. And I got the SUV, and the whole fuel stuff happened, and I'm like, this damn SUV, it has a smaller engine, and it actually consumes more gas than the Camaro. Like, yeah. I could get if I drive it like Miss Daisy, I could get 27 to 29 mpg on the highway, and if I had a long trip, it actually maxed out at 38 once, which means I was just cruising the whole time. And the Camaro took premium.
Oh yes, mine takes
So,
premium too. Yeah.
And it's a 19-gallon tank. So, but yeah, just like you would step on it, like you could actually see the gas gauge go.
I'm telling you, like, I swear to God, it's bad. It's bad. But you know what? Like, I mean, smiles per mile, man. Smiles per mile, straight up. That car has
Smiles per gallon.
And it has what's the cool thing about it, it has LSD in the back. So like when you get it right in the power curve on like a nice turn, you can kick out the back end, and it's controllable. It's quite nice. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Oh, I know about that. I tried not to do it too many times in the Camaro because that's not all-wheel drive.
Oh man. Yeah. Man, it was
I
good.
I got squirrely once, not even on purpose. Like my foot, like the my shoelaces like got caught on the thing, and I couldn't lift my foot off of the pedal as I was making a turn. And I drive. I don't care what anybody says. Like normal driving, I drive with all the nannies on, like traction control, stability control, all that stuff is on. The car realized that this is wrong, and literally caught power and straightened me out, and I was able to unhook myself, and then I just pulled over. It's like, what the heck just happened? Like my shoelace came untied, and it tangled on the pedal. So
I feel like your problem is like an instant problem, where it's like instant torque. You got your displacement. It's like, like once you're like, no, I gotta think.
So,
mine, it's like, okay, so, oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the thing with people don't realize. Oh, you have a big engine, you waste a lot of fuel, blah blah blah. It's like if you give it, you can drive most of the way with like 16%, like 16 throttle, and the car will get up to speed just fine. So you barely spend any fuel. The problem is most of the time you want to step on it.
Yeah. Well, I remember when because I had a turbo Honda like back before Boosted Boys was like, we turbocharged a little like OBD 0, man. It was pre OBD 1. So it was very primitive fuel, fuel injection system, and we were like cheating it by upping the fuel pressure using a poor man's fuel management, which is the FMU, right? Which would raise the fuel pressure per pound of boost. So that was our, and we would have like a stoichiometric, like we'd have a wideband O2, and we would kind of make sure we were in the right area. But it was a game, and like it would go lean in certain situations because like it was like a dumb thing. It was like a Rube Goldberg machine of like
it had no feedback. It had no feedback.
Yeah, it was no anyway. Whatever, but with the boost gauge, I could drive it at zero, so like between vacuum and boost. And if I could get it like right, just barely into boost, I would burn the least amount of gas, and it was awesome. Crazy.
Well, now I drive the wife's Kia, which is a Kia Forte GT, which is turbo. It's a 1.6 turbo, and that has something called smart mode. And it'll literally just give you, I think it adjusts the throttle curve and whatnot, and it'll do 31, 33 mpg, and it'll still go up to like 15 or 18 pounds of boost if you floor it. Crazy. Like it'll switch for you.
That's awesome. I had so when we were doing CRXs, so we had first gen CRXs, so like early, like mid 80s, 86 to 85, 85 to 87, because the 88 became the new body style. Anyway, so they had this one called the CRX HF, and it was the fuel efficient version. It had a little shift light. It would tell you when to shift up, which was weird. And that thing, I've never that was a slow car, man. Oh my God. But it had all these things, man. It had the bones of a goddamn drag car. It had aluminum rear drum brakes. So it was like the whole aluminum. It was aluminum, and then it had a little steel insert inside, and they were like 10 pounds lighter than like regular, like any disc brake or whatever. So a lot of the like straight line guys would use the HF brakes in the back because they're so light.
So what you're saying is buy the HF and then get rid of the engine and trans and put in something else in there.
They were doing it with Insights. Remember the Honda Insight?
Yeah,
it was like their hybrid or whatever. So people buy those shells because they're aluminum, and then they would like throw, K series engines. This is before things became 4-wheel drive really easy. Like now, all those Hondas, they're like people are converting them.
What's the successor to the CRX that they made hybrid? Is ZRZ?
CRZ, which is also another cool car that I've seen been converted back to like.
I have a friend that works at Honda as an engineer, and they have a small like rallycross or rally team. Cool. And they actually took a ZRZ. They took the batteries out, they took the tank out, and took the motor out, and I think they put either a K20 or a K24 in it. Did all the rally suspension, got it the stuff, and they went rallying with that thing. Like he was the co-driver. And
that's so awesome.
Like I think the second stage or the third stage of the first time he went, they actually rolled it. And he was like, well, this is the first time I've ever been upside down in a car.
Oh man. Racing Legends asking if the CRX HF had 4-speed manual. I think it still had a 5-speed, at least the Canadian one that I had. Although it could have been an American car because we got it in Niagara Falls. I can't remember. That engine and that power train didn't last very long in that HF. We put an Integra. ZC, as you guys would say, a ZC, a Japanese D16A1. Anyway, whatever. Oh my god, I know so much about this little tiny time of like Honda history that like I could tell you codes and shit, and like it's like obsolete, man. Obsolete.
I used to know all that too about Toyotas, right. the early 2000s Corollas and the Celicas, but I forgot all of that.
Yeah.
No, that's what I had access to when I was in college. I had a 2000 Celica GTS. Unfortunately, it was automatic, so it had a 4-speed instead of a 6.
Oh man, yeah. Damn, 4-wheel drive though. Still, yeah, no.
This is the last generation Celica, 7th gen.
Right. I thought that because I thought the GTS.
Yeah, no, the GTS just had the 1.82 ZZ engine in it that revved to like 8,500 or more or so. It was supposed to have 189 horsepower, but after the years, Toyota actually fessed up saying that the way they measured that was wrong. So the car actually had like 160.
That's funny. We put a Volvo T3 turbo on our 1.6 liter high compression because they were all high compression because they were not turbo engines. And then we were running like 8 pounds of boost on this thing, and it was nuts. It was nuts because it weighed nothing. And like the brakes didn't even work. At that point, the brakes just don't work. You get to a certain speed and you jump on the brakes and the whole front end shakes a bit and you're like, I'm not slowing down. Like that stop sign is coming up. And you're like,
it's not just the front end, it's the whole car going like
the whole car. And you can feel it in your butt. You know how you can tell when the whole thing's like doing this. Like, holy shit, what have we done? We've created a monster, but man, it's good times.
The mechanic I used to go to back home, he was called racing mechanic. He did racing stuff, but he was certified on racing stuff for Toyotas. You know what he had as a monster of a car?
No.
He had a 1995, I think it was 95 or 96 Toyota Paseo. You know what that Toyota Paseo is?
Paseo, I think. Hold on. Yes, I do. I do know. I do. It's like the neck after the MX, no? Like maybe I'm like wrong.
It was like a little hatchback. It was a little hatchback with like 1.5 liter engine.
Here, hold on, we can show
my guy. This guy had a 1.5 liter, fully forged, fully built, 25 psi turbocharged Paseo with drag slicks.
Hold on, let's see. This is the Passat. Oh, that's not a good.
It was literally one of those. Okay,
I mean, that's kind of awesome.
and
Like the Velcro.
and he had slicks on it.
Slicks,
K-pop,
yeah. On the
K-pop.
front.
He literally one time went to me like said, "Hey, Rick, come join me. You're heavy. You give me traction." That's how nasty that car was. It would go in every single direction except forward. That's how much power that thing was putting out. It was beating nitrous shot 5.0s when the Mustang 5.0s came out the second time. The the Boss 302, when the Boss 302 came out again for the Mustangs, that little car would actually beat those.
Oh, crazy. Yeah. So this is the Boss 308. Crazy.
Yeah, with the newer generations, which had like, what was it, like 425 horsepower or something like that?
Crazy. Somebody was saying to do a Chevy Impala, but like, I don't know why. Okay, we're gonna. Yeah, no, I was gonna show everybody my my CRX, but I don't have a lot of photos of it because it's from a time when nobody had cameras, man. Nobody had freaking cameras. Like, there's an era, dudes, like where nobody could capture anything. Like you couldn't. Like it was only it was in a VHS tape. Oh, I mean, even before that, like I mean, VHS
or a physical picture. Like you have to go get it developed,
yeah, and then it might come back black because like you didn't have the
or horribly exposed.
Oh, did I find it? I may have found pictures of it. I'm trying to look. I'm looking for like pictures of this damn CRX. Oh yeah, I found them. Oh wow, what an era, man. It's like a yeah. So that's the HF, right? So it's got the HF bumper. You can see it's got an intercooler sticking out the front. The top, the hood is carbon fiber. So that's a carbon fiber hand laid hood that was made by somebody in California. I don't know, in like the early 2000s. Can't get those anymore. Pretty nutty. That's a young K-pop that looks like he's gonna crap his pants, which is kind of funny. Okay, so this kind of shows the technology that we had. So like
the MSD box,
right? MSD, but this was a turbo MSD, so it had the timing retard per pound of boost. So for every pound of boost, we could retard the timing by like 1.5, 2 degrees or whatever. So that was like how we kept kind of the ignition in the right spot. Was this little tiny little freaking knob?
That's how you did them. That's how you worked on them back then. That's what you got. You had the top of the line.
Totally. And then so this would this little box here would just injector duty cycle basically. So you could, depending on the RPM, you could kind of dump more fuel a little bit, but it didn't work very well, like at all. This was our like really cheap SS Autochrome turbo manifold, which was made of tinfoil, man. Like I don't even know how this thing held together. Like holy shit. And then that's a T3 Volvo turbo. We actually had a rebuilt one or whatever. And then this is my terrible welding that we ground away. And that's the ZC. Yeah, man, hilarious, man. What a time, man. What a time.
So long as it worked, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so these were our shit boxes. That one was turbo. This one was carbureted, but dual overhead cam, 1.6 liter. And man, I got that thing ripping. Like that thing would chirp third. And that's a funny thing to say now. Is that third? Because that's like no power at all, man. Especially something so light. But
yeah. So the Celica I had was like the stuff I could do to it without actually putting a turbo because it wasn't recommended because of the type of engine. And so the specs for the Toyota version are slightly different than the same engine that Lotus used because Lotus had a version of it with a supercharger on it. So people would actually buy the supercharger for the Lotus and put it on the Celicas. But I was in college. I didn't have that kind of money. So all I did was I had the guys port the intake manifold and port the exhaust manifold And on top of that, the VVTi, the lift,
Oh,
the solenoid, you could modify it to trigger it to tell it to, hey, instead of adjusting the timing, when you open lift, go full lift.
further. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
and then on top of that, the computer was chipped, and what this meant was like you open up the computer, you take out the frequency crystal, you put a different frequency crystal in it, so that your rev limiter would go higher. So,
No way.
so like,
So
yeah.
check it out. So this right here, the one that in the photo here, this is a Motes EEPROM emulator. So this would fake the EEPROM on the ECU, and we could do live adjustments using something called Turbo Edit, and it was before Honda data. Honda data didn't exist yet, and this is my management.
It's the beginnings. It's the beginning. It's what you did.
This is what we upgraded our FMU to, our fuel management unit, the one that updid the fuel pressure based on pound fuel. So we just did this. But look at the laptop, man. That's a Windows 95 unit right there.
You want to know the funny thing is? You probably still need that laptop to tune nowadays. Because I found out that a lot of the newer laptops aren't compatible with tuning software. Because the car computers, doesn't matter how advanced they are, they're still pretty dumb compared to modern PCs.
Well, like, I mean, in terms of like drivers and serial, right? So serial connection, I feel like there's like some protocols that they're sort of like getting rid of. And from the USB protocol and like other, I'm sure other like serial connections. So maybe that's why you need an old one, because like you need like a true serial port. I don't know.
I remember for the longest time, like you needed a Windows 95 in order to actually tune anything.
Really
funny. Even in the like late 2000s, it was like, yeah, you still need a like a Windows 95 to actually tune anything. I'm like, why?
Yeah. So Aldris is talking about H22s. Yeah, man, H22s were the holy grail in that era, because I mean, before the K motors came out, H23 was the one. The Prelude, was it the SR? I can't remember the
I can't remember the trim, but yeah, I know those.
Right? It was the Prelude, the H23 that was the one that you wanted, and that thing you could turbo it stock internals to like 400 easy. Crazy, man. Yeah, H22s, but H22s were hard to fit in anything because they were fairly large, like, I mean, into any other Hondas other than the Prelude. So a lot of guys that would do H22 swaps would end up having to like tilt up the hood to get stop the valve cover from hitting the hood, that kind of stuff. There it is, Prelude SRV.
SRV.
Knows, man. Anyway, so this car is actually a legend, man. So this is a 3rd generation Civic. So it's an 87 Civic, but the guy put in a single jingle, man, a single D16A, but like a newer one. And this car weighed nothing. This guy ran a forum called Red Pepper Racing. This was the guy, man. So this guy he won autocross 2 years in a row in that thing, in that little piece of shit. And right?
It's a little matchbox. That's how it works.
I could lift the back of that car like myself. I could lift both tires up off the ground. Like that's how light it was. Insane.
It's what people fail to understand is power to weight ratio. If you manage that, you can have 1,000 horsepower, but if you weigh 10,000 pounds,
right? Yeah, there you go. I mean, and so
it's what happens. What happened to the new Ram TRX?
Right.
It's got 702 horsepower, but it weighs like 1,000,000 tons, all the other SUVs actually beat it.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, this is like, man, this is the point where I got too cool for school and I needed to get a real job, and I moved out of my house, and then all of it all fell apart. And now thinking back, though, man, if I started my YouTube channel doing this stuff, man, I would probably been doing way better. Well,
it's funny because for me the whole tuning stuff technically disappeared when I got my first brand new car. So like I still had the Celica And the reason why I got a new car is because the Celica was asking for like $400-$500 every month. And I'm like, listen, that's a car payment. I'll just get a new car.
Yeah.
And I got the car, and I still had the other car. So as soon as I got the new car, the old car stopped having problems completely. It worked every day. It started flawlessly. It stopped draining the battery. It stopped having start issues. Like it knew it got replaced.
And then it was like, I'm gonna be good. I'll be good.
Yeah, and then I sold it. I sold it because I couldn't take both cars, you know. And the newer car, all I did was I'll put an intake, I'll put a muffler on it, and that's it. Like that's what I did for the longest time until I got the Camaro, and that I put some stuff in it, and then life happens, so you move on.
You move on.
But the what?
You regret a little bit, like losing it. No, I guess you still.
I do. Like, yeah, like. Yeah. Listen, that I had so much I had it for 4 years, basically, and I drove everywhere with it. I went to Georgia, I went to Tennessee, I went to Ohio multiple times. Like I drove that car. Like people ask me like, why you put so many miles? Why don't you want to like keep miles off of it? I'm like, I bought it to drive it. Like,
yeah, man.
Like I wanted to drive it. That's why I bought it. I didn't buy it to put it on the freaking garage and leave it there.
Yo, dude, my brother has a 993, a Porsche 993, 95, last of the air cools. I think he's pushing like 100,000 miles on that thing because he drives it. So all
that's
the purists, yeah, but all the purist Porsche people are like, right? They're just like, why are you driving? It's like
here's the thing: if you drive it too much, you wreck it. But if you don't drive it at all, you wreck it.
Yeah, I know.
So
anyway, so
drive it.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on Online Hobby Guy. Yes, so Online Hobby Guy. So there was this thing that Honda guys used to do, and they used to use Viterra.
I remember that.
Yeah, because they were forged, so you could like it was like the poor man's forged internals with the Viterra pistons. I can't even remember the flavors of rod combinations with the Viterras. Not 100% sure. Don't remember the math that went into the compression ratio at all. Can't remember any of that stuff. But man, that was the time. The Online Hobby Guy knows, man. That's the era that like we were on homemade turbo forums and stuff. But we had
a friend that had a 93 Honda Civic, like the 4-door, and it was falling apart. Like the thing was rusty. Like you could see the rust falling off of it. It looked horrible. You know, you look at it from afar and you go like, that's like a $200 car because it's just falling apart. You pop the hood and it was a show car. It had a K24 in it, fully painted engine bay, all chromed out. Motor was tuned to hell, and it made like 350 horsepower to the wheels. And he had a cutout underneath the car, so like he would close it, and it sounded like, you know, stock Civic, like none the wiser. And he would go out to race people. He would just go, oh yeah, it's just a stock Civic. It's just a stock Civic. And then as soon as they took off, he would open up the cutout and just walk them. You're like, what the hell is in that? It's like, it's a little K24 in it. It's like
my favorite, man. Like I think my favorite car that I've ever seen. Like I mean, we were big Honda guys back in the day because like it was cheap. It was just the next progression of muscle cars and cheap cars, right? Like cheap cars are Nicholas, man, you're sending me stuff. Yeah, so that's just like was the next progression. We could get these cheap cars, we could make them run fast. But the craziest one that I saw was a like EK Civic. It was like bone stock. It was stock height. The thing looked completely stock, and the license plate was ZZZZZ. It was like 5 or 6 Z's. And you're like, and then when the guy popped it, dude, it was a B16A. Well, I can't remember the turbo or the Type R variant of the B16A, but it was the B16A2 or B16A. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was a Type R. It was like a Type R B16A, and they even had a stock shifter. It didn't have the console in the front. It was just like bone stock.
That's how my buddy's car was. It just looked like a stock '94 Civic 4-door. That was rust. That was a rust bucket until you pop the hood.
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube who's got a Cord like that, and it's just like dents and everything, and it's like pushing 600 horsepower. That thing's pretty cool.
It also reminds me of the older gentleman that has an Altima and beating Porsches with it. Have you seen that guy?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I feel like it's so cool. It's my favorite thing ever. Freaking sleepers.
Just get sleepers.
Coolest.
See, but there's one thing I do hate about Honda guys, and people don't eat me out here. Why is it that every time you see a muscle car, you have to race it?
Oh, I get this from my brother a lot because he drives that Porsche all the time, and he gets a lot of like. You
have no idea. You have no idea. Apparently, I never encountered any of the really souped up ones. But for the 4 years I had my Camaro, I had no kidding. I had over 5 or 10 guys just pull up right next to me and just rev the nuts off their engine, trying to race, and like, okay, I'll give you a little something, and then before I even hit third gear, they're already off the throttle. It's like, what were you expecting?
Yeah. Nah, they just see flashy cars and they're like, ooh, my car that I bought for $3,200 will beat your.
And don't get me wrong, there are some that will beat the snot out of anything like that because they're built, and if you build them right, it's like they're just gone. They just take off. But like the average guy is like, dude, like,
no, fuck off.
Right, like,
no.
I'm with my lady in the car, man. Windows down, sunroof open. You're like, nah, get out of here.
Yeah,
that and Infiniti Q50 and Q60 owners did the same thing. I'm like,
oh man, which one? The SER, the freaking SER. It was like a Nissan,
the Sentra.
But it was the SER, and it was like it had some balls, man. That car was fast, but like everybody and their mother would like try to race you with it. Like,
it was like it's like 220, 250 horsepower NA. That was made decent power, that thing.
Telling you. Let's see here, Instagram.
So my brother, my horsepower number might be wrong, but they had a pretty decent horsepower number.
Yeah, so my brother has a pretty sick Instagram. If you guys want to follow him, you can. It's called 911%. You can see here's my bro with Chris Harris, which is kind of sick.
Oh, that's pretty cool,
right? So this is his because he kind of works for Porsche. Like he works for a company that's hired by Porsche. But so here's his 993 here. This dude is pretty much the reason I have CRX. Yeah, like I feel like it's the sickest 911 generation because it's kind of sad. It's almost kind of like a water droplet. It's kind of got this
like droopy, but it looks so good.
Like bubbly, you know. And then he has the Carrera 4S, so it's the wide body. It's not the turbo because it doesn't have that big wing, but it does have the turbo wide body, and it is 4-wheel drive, which is pretty sweet. 4-wheel drive, yeah. So if you guys want to follow, this is my niece and nephew in his other. Like what? But look at the rims, man. He got rid of these, and everybody's like pissed at him for. Oh no, he had LM.
Yeah, those are like aren't those like super hard to find?
Yeah, I mean I feel like the community is weird, man. And you kind of it's not like RC. Like this is kind of the weird thing about RC, and maybe why it was a mistake that I went into this niche. But you know what I mean? Trade them around, like they just like trade wheels. It's like, you know, whatever.
So I thought those BBS looking ones are like the LM ones. The GTLM wheels, which are very expensive. I think they're 3-piece forged.
Yeah, I
And
can't. I
then,
don't
like,
think.
they have factory Porsche center caps and everything.
Yeah, I don't think that's his. I think because I think he has the turbo spokes there.
But those LMs, dude, like
I know he's had some cool
those
rims.
are expensive
was-
if you find them.
For a long time, he was like riding his 997 like to snowboard. So we'd go up north and snowboard with his 997 with the roof rack. It was good times, man. But yeah, he's got some cool cars that he gets to like play around with that
Nice.
kind of super jealous about. I mean, dude's obviously doing like real car journalism, which is pretty sick. Yeah, these are the ones he had. So sorry, these are the ones he had.
Okay.
BBS LMs. They're still LMs. They're just not the gold ones.
The other ones look like the race car. The gold ones look like race car.
Yeah.
Wheels. These look like your commercial version.
He got this for 3 weeks or whatever, and this is the fastest wagon I've ever been in my life. The RS6 Avant. Like, oh my god, I've never in my life experienced so much torque without hearing anything. So like, because all the windows were up, right, and you would gun it, and you would sink into the seat, like you would sink into the seat. You feel the material like push you in, and then when it would change gears, it would hit your back. But you couldn't hear anything until he lowered the window. And when he lowered the windows, then you could hear that like bah, bah. And it was like this like loud sound,
like visceral growl coming out the back.
I just couldn't believe how much sound was canceled by like.
Well, at least it's now available in the U.S. because the wagon was never available in the U.S.
Yeah,
I think there's only a handful of them of the old ones.
It's like when you're like a car journalist and you have friends who are like really wealthy and they spend a lot of their money buying cars, they end up having too many cars to drive. And then like what we're talking about where like if you don't drive it, you destroy it. Like you have to drive it. So what this like rich guy would do is he would just give his friends the cars that he wanted to drive, right?
Yeah. I've heard that. Like they would actually pay their friends to drive the cars because it's like, listen, I need to move them. Like they need to drive. They need to be driven.
It needs to drive like 600K, like it needs to. Otherwise, like it has. Like now, anyway. Oh, All Dress is sending me more money, bro. I didn't get your first number from the other 10. Tonight we shall all raise our elbow for our missing TCC. Oh, our fella. Yes. Oh, there you go. 19 and 98. Okay. I'm going to leave this up.
Yeah, write that down. Write that
Rick,
down.
I'm sorry, man, because your face is in the way and I feel bad.
It's all right. I'm okay with it.
Oh, this is better.
Nobody wants to see my ugly mug anyways.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No, I don't know. 19.
Well, everybody, how many people are watching? Everybody should be hitting that like button, though.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome if they could. I mean, we're trying to grow the. I mean, we had a bunch of people coming in. Concurrent views were like 50 for a little bit there, which is pretty great. Although, I mean, for a live stream, it's definitely not. I shouldn't complain. We have got the best people on the live stream. These guys are awesome. And
the people that matter are here.
Because it's kind of sucks because then like all of a sudden if like we get really popular, is it going to be the same? Probably not.
I mean, some things might change, but if you stay
because then it becomes hard to talk. It becomes hard to talk to people because
I guess
worlds are starting to move too fast.
Not everybody comments though.
True. It's true. There we go. All right. Aldrez, I got you in there for those two numbers.
Hashtag loyalty by Hobby Guy. We're my Hobby Guy. Yes, sir.
Hashtag we are. I'm like, I love wagons. I love wagons too. Static Hella Rush. I don't know why, but they're so sick. Every time I see, you know what's funny? Like every time I see one of those Volvos from the 80s that's still kicking, I'm like, how is this car still running? And why did I never owned one?
5-cylinder inline turbo.
Dude, crazy. Perfect. And then they're like two valves per fucking cylinder. I'm getting drunk. Drop too many F-bombs. But yeah, 2 valves. What? Anyway, I'm sure they added a valve later on. No, you know the ones I'm talking about for sure.
Like the Mustangs with the 3 valves.
Right? Wait, what are they? Crazy.
Yeah, one of the generations of the 4.6, I think, came with 3 valves
Crazy. Oh, okay.
per cylinder.
Well,
I think it was.
then
I
you got
think
the
it was
Audi.
2.
You got
The
the Audis with five per cylinder, right?
5 per cylinder. Well,
Three
but
no, 3 on
the-
the intake, 2 on the exhaust.
aren't the Toyota 4AG? I mean, not 4AG. Where is it? The Treno engine, doesn't that one is 5?
4AG. 4AG.
Yeah, 4AG. Doesn't that one have 5 per cylinder as well?
I don't know. I thought 4, but maybe I'm totally wrong. It could be 5. I don't know Toyota engines at all. I could tell you Honda Motors never got more than 4, but anyway, the comments will let us know. Know.
And then you have your flavors of red top, black top, and the whole shenanigans. I think the black top is a 5 valve 4AG, more modern, that came in the AE 1110. I mean 110, or the 110, which was front wheel drive.
That's so cool. I don't know, man.
And so what people would do is they would pull that one and put it on the older car because it made more power.
There you go.
I think it was still at 1.8.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. So awesome. I love that. That was like my favorite thing about I guess maybe, I mean, being an engineer for like a large domestic car company, I guess you kind of deal with this kind of stuff all the time, but like there's something to be said about manufacturing and making things cheap by making them fit multiple chassis, and that's kind of created a really awesome community of people who are swapping in parts.
It's weird because excuse me.
The vid. No.
Man, it's funny because modern companies, or at least some of them, now the ones that dictate what engines go in what platforms is actually marketing. It's not even engineering.
Oh, interesting.
And then it's like, okay, marketing wants these engines in these cars because they're for this audience. Hence, you have to make it. It's a 1.6, not a 1.8. You're correct. Like the engineers now have to, okay, I'll make this car so that it fits these engines, and that's when you get into the cars that you try to pull the oil filter off, or you're going to drain the oil, and there's a sway bar in the way, or there's a freaking subframe in the way, or the axle is in the way. It's because it wasn't designed for that engine to be there. It's like we had to make the engine fit. So it's like,
yeah.
What can
no,
you do?
I know. I mean, there's certain they do make those mistakes, right, where they add too much weight and then they ruin sort of the weight,
the dynamics, and stuff like that. So
the chassis, and I mean, a lot of people that put V8s and Miatas usually end up regretting their choice, right? Because it
depends if you do it right.
Yeah, so I mean, you look at the drifter guys that have been doing it for so long.
So if you follow, like I think Flying Miata, I think that's what the company's called.
Mm-hmm.
Their kits relocate some stuff to the back.
Oh, cool.
And you actually end up with, I think it's a 49-51. I mean, a 51-49, almost 50-50 weight distribution.
There
so
you
you
go.
don't lose the weight distribution. And what they do is, I believe they tell you to spec out stiffer springs in the front to compensate for the weight. And then if you tune it right, it'll ride fine. It's just if you stick an iron block LS in it,
there you go.
not gonna work. Not gonna work as well.
I should shout out Jay Walker. Jay Walker, man, I got you in number 47. You are there. Everything's cool. Just wanted to say thank you for supporting the channel, man. We're working hard on getting that RS 200 kind of like. Actually, to be fair, I'm on like iteration 3, and I'm assuming we're going to be on iteration like 10 before it's ready to go. But It'll be pretty awesome. I'm sure Gear Guy knows. I mean, I feel like you probably would, just through your experience, you would probably know how to make this thing a lot easier. Like I'm following through it. You know,
well, the tools and the thought process is like each person is different. You know, it's
well,
one of
no,
those things that it's one of those things where like where I work at is we have to fix the same problem, right? So we have peer reviews. So other people are looking at what you're doing, and you're looking at what other people are doing, and sometimes what you're doing will work. It's not that it won't work, but it may be a little bit more convoluted or more complicated than it actually needs to be. And somebody else goes like, "Oh, but you can do it this way." And you're like, "I didn't think about that." And
no, but you know what? But I mean, as somebody who like works in a technical field, at least, right? When I was starting out, it was so key to sit with somebody and watch their workflow, because like just to understand how, when you have a problem, if you can figure out the hierarchy of the problem and figure out exactly the first step that you need in problem solving to solve that problem, it's just important to see how other people solve those problems, so that
correct.
That can influence the way that you can kind of fall through it. The problem with us and a lot of the people who are like hobbyists, they don't end up, they're not in a community of people that can help them criticize their own way of like figuring out solutions to problems. And so it sucks. It takes longer for somebody who is not in a community, you know?
Yeah. And you can see that whenever you see like the files, the STL files that pop up for like, you know, different cars and stuff like that. And again, I'm not dissing on anybody's work, because everybody's skill level is different. And like what you have to do is get out there, practice, and keep working on it. You know, keep working, keep practicing, make better versions, you know, do that. But like sometimes when I'm just searching real quickly to get something, it's like, I don't want to sit down and design it. I'm looking for a quick fix. And sometimes I go look at some of the stuff that's available. I go like,
there is no quick.
Yeah, that could have been done better. That could have been oriented better. You know, and sometimes I just end up making my own. But again, you're right. Being in the community, where like it takes a bit longer for you to get that feedback. Whereas I've been doing this for 8+ years.
Yeah. But Rick, do you ever meet some young, I want to say the F word really bad, some young piece of shit who's like cocky and like thinks they know more because they like grew up in it, and then you're like, but then all of a sudden you're like, okay, yeah, no, this guy's got a different perspective. You're like, okay, it's different ways.
So I can't say that I've actually found someone like that per se. I do know people that have way better skills than I do, because they do, you know, and like you'll learn from them a lot too. Like it doesn't matter your age or how long you've been in this, you always learn something new. And the most important thing about that is, yeah, they're cocky and everything until you see them struggle, and then you go like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that, and then they understand that, hey, I don't know everything, and it might be wise from time to time to listen to the people who have been doing this for a long time. Where I work at, the age gap is, you know, it's all over the place. We got people who are very, how do I say that, executive, or they've been there, you know, for a long time, and you got people coming in fresh from college.
Yeah,
you know,
lifer.
But what I found out is that the people who come fresh off of college, not all, but most of them, they barely have any CAD experience.
Interesting.
Like they've played around with it, they've done some stuff, but they've never actually, like, under daily lives, they don't use it. And that's where, like, you come into work for the first time, you start getting trainings, you start getting like all these classes, all these shortcuts, and that's where you start to learn. In my case,
I was going to ask. So, your guy, in your situation, How much CAD did they teach you in university?
So
And how
for
much
me,
you had to self-taught based on the needs that you needed to?
so my case is a little bit different, I would say, because where I started going to classes, it's one of these transfer programs. So you start in one campus, you take all your basic classes, and then you move to the specialty campus, right?
Right.
So because we were on the transfer side, we were less students, and in my case, my CAT class, we were two people.
Oh,
So
two?
yes, so because the other three literally decided to quit after the first year.
Wow.
So we were two people in the class. So the professor tailored the class to teach us advanced techniques. So I actually learned how to do assemblies, how to do animations, how to put proper stuff together, special modeling stuff like complex spirals and stuff like that. Um, at least from a mechanical standpoint, not from a graphical standpoint. In other words, what we did was relatively functional and it required like equations and stuff to do. And then because we were taught that, it was I used my spare time like I wanted to make stuff. Like
Yeah.
I really like this CAD stuff. I called it like virtual Play-Doh. Like I can make whatever the heck I want. I can shape it whichever way I want. So that second year of the transfer program, I would actually sit on my spare time and just follow tutorials or look for information. And I would actually like teach myself how to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do something, I didn't know how to do it. So I just went like, well, somebody must know how to do this. So I just looked it up. And then
How
by
much
the time
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say how like, because I went to fine arts for a couple of years before I went into film school, so we were learning something called 2D design and 3D design. And 3D design was a lot about like figure drawing, but like more towards the side of like industrial design. So like we were learning how to like block out three-dimensional shapes, like basically simplify everything to like the simplest forms, which would be like a rectangular prism, like a sphere or a cone. You know, like you would block things out very much like the Simpsons would when they like, you know, like it just simplify a shape as much as possible. And then so that's how we learned how to draw in, you know, using the 45-degree grid, you know, to do like almost like photorealistic renderings. But that's like so much more into the like art side of things, not necessarily so much on the side of like engineering and design, where you're like thinking about forces and inertia and like, well, just like physics in general.
Yeah.
Like when did like was there a big difference between like the visual side of design for your schooling and the like technical side where like it was all about physics and like the forces applied?
So it was like the first like graphic design or before you even do any CAD work, they teach you just what you explained. They teach you the force perspectives, how to make the figures. Can you replicate this technical drawing? Can you do a technical drawing of this shape? Can you show like all that stuff? So they teach you how to do that manually first. Because if you understand that and you understand the views, you understand what you're looking at, you can place yourself in 3 dimensions and look at the part, right? And you can imagine it in your head, because you are forcing yourself to learn the perspectives. Once you learn that, then they go like, okay, now let's move on to 3D space and start modeling stuff. Modeling, it was separate from like the forces and engineering and stuff like that. That was like separate classes. However, you needed those classes to go like, okay, so if I design this part X way and I apply a force this way, then like, well, I need to make sure that this, holds. And that's where the engineering comes from. It's like anybody can draw up a part, but engineering comes from you learning like, I need to make this X strong, or I need to pick this material. I think a lot of people think that engineering is like Tony Stark and it's super easy and you just do all that stuff. Sometimes engineering is literally like, hey, I need this design, and basically all you're doing is picking out COTS items or like off the shelf items, like picking the right bearings, the right shafts, the right box, right gears to make sure that this thing works. So, and then with a few custom parts in between that you probably have to make, because if you're doing a custom solution, you're going to have to fabricate something,
Yeah, no, I know. It's crazy, man. I mean, it's interesting to me because, like, as somebody coming from just like the visual side of things, now trying to figure out, like, well, at what point do you add like material strength or like, I don't know. I guess I know CAD and I know SolidWorks, like that you work in, you can add forces, you can like tell it where things are gonna like
where to apply it, yeah.
And then you can understand where you need to make thicker materials. Like there's just like there's a whole other world to like 3D design that I'm not a part of.
That's a whole different field altogether, because that is what's called finite element analysis.
Wait, say it again.
Finite element analysis. So you basically grab the part you make and you turn it into small little blocks, and then you apply the forces to it, and you can see how it behaves. Yeah. It's a little bit more complicated than I made it sound. And if you don't actually build the model correctly, you get garbage results.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you got to know what you're doing, and you got to be able to interpret what you're seeing. But it's pretty cool, and the cool thing about it is, thank you, RC Garage. I think you got yours, didn't you?
RC Garage. Hold on, I'm sorry, Rick. I'm gonna keep your face covered.
Write that down. It's all right.
Doing it. Drive. Jeez. Okay. No, what I can do though, because we don't have to watch RC Car. So there we go. All right, RC Garage. I'm adding you in here. Number 14. Here we go. RC Garage.
So yeah, it's a whole different world completely. But
right,
most of the companies now, what they're doing is they're integrating the two. So you make the part, but the same program can run the analysis, and in real time you can see results, and you can grab the part and like in real time make it thicker, make it thinner, move a line here, move a face over there, and you can see in real time if what you're doing actually has an impact on what you're trying to do, which is it's pretty neat. I'll be honest.
Oh, it's insane! It's the coolest thing ever. I mean, I watch Mike Paley. Have you been ever watching the YouTube channel Mike Paley?
I can't say that I have, but now I'm going to look for him.
I'll send it to you. Okay, so what this guy did was actually he's a aeronautic engineer, so mechanical engineer, but specifically for airplanes. And he spent his whole time building the big thing that he's more interested in is landing and taking off a bush plane with the least amount of distance. So he wants to take off his plane in the least amount of runway and land the least amount of runway. So he designed his own plane. He was flying an Oshkosh, which is like a Polish plane that had very slow stall speed. So he was trying to design his own. He's calling it the Scrappy build, and he was designing wings that would change. He could change the characteristics of the wings by like creating these like mechanics that like extended the airfoil, and so he could like adjust. And the work that he did in SolidWorks to make that happen and all of that, it's just like next level. I could just watch him for days. I mean, the dude's obviously a millionaire. He can buy incredible amounts of materials. Like this dude makes carbon fiber parts with resin and carbon fiber materials, like as if he has enough money to buy like hundreds of yards of this. Like it's nuts. Like I know how much a carbon fiber sheet costs, and I'm like, did you just spend 10 grand to make this part?
So just imagine how much a roll costs plus the resin.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's nuts, but it's really cool to watch. Mike Paley, I don't know if you guys have watched that guy, but very very cool YouTube channel to check out.
That's one of the things is that as a mechanical engineer, you can go from designing lawnmowers and toothbrushes to literally building rockets. Okay, because
Yeah.
the mechanical engineer is super versatile and needs to like know a little bit of everything. You need to know fluid dynamics. You need to know aerodynamics. You need to know pumps. You need to know HVAC. You need to know thermodynamics. You need to know all this stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And it all plays together, you know. But the part that I really liked and what I focused on was CAD. Like I really liked designing stuff for me, you know. And at that point, I was already hooked on RC cars when I started, studying this. So you can imagine that my first like real RC car, like actual cool RC car, was Radio Shack's X mods. So that's what I was making parts and designing stuff for those since college. So well, since high school really, but in high school I didn't know any CAD, but I was messing around with those since high school. So yeah, look at that.
Right? My God, if this doesn't make you want to subscribe to this dude's channel, like, oh my God. But like, no, because dude, it's nuts. You need to watch this guy.
You get to do that when you understand fluid dynamics.
Right?
Because
and that's like a whole engineering discipline. You could just be a fluid dynamics engineer. Like right? Is a subset of mechanical.
You can specialize in aerodynamics.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
So, but again, I say fluid because air is a fluid. So this is basically fluid dynamics, and when you understand that, and you understand how the fluid the medium that you're using behaves on a surface, this is the end result. Like you can use that to your advantage.
Yeah, totally.
You know, my only concern with something like this is that is it as simple as it can be? Because that's usually what gets you, you know.
I mean, it's flying. So he's flying it now. So it's working, but I know it is iterative in a sense that he had made his mistakes, and you can watch his whole process of him figuring out exactly
that is amazing. That is amazing work.
But he's done some.
I know I couldn't do that.
Like if you look at his plane too, he's got adjustable landing gear that he worked with Rock Shocks or whatever, or King Shocks, to create his own custom nitrogen filled shocks that he can adjust the dampening, and he can actually on the fly adjust like the stance of the plane depending on how much crosswind is. Like, oh dude, this is straight up my this is what I watch. This is the kind of stuff that I watch.
You saw that little clip where it showed the cross section of the wing?
Yeah. Oh wait.
So that's showing you the high and low pressure zones of the wing of the airfoil as air moves through it, or at least as a result of some kind of analysis or preliminary study that he may have made.
Dude,
and that's
nutty.
That's how you understand. Like once you understand that, like you just make it work for you. You know.
It's crazy, man. Anyway, I'm gonna. Do you want to stay, Rick, man? Because I gotta pee. So I'm gonna do the pee montage.
I might head off.
You're gonna dip? Okay, so you're gonna dip.
Yeah, because I just saw the time. I should be sleeping.
Yeah, I'm sure. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us and Scale Builders Guild. Yeah, man, always a great, just great to pick your brain as somebody who has a job that I wish that I, stood the test of time and algebra and freaking trigonometry in high school.
It wasn't easy. It was definitely not easy. But
I know. But that's so awesome. And I'm so lucky to have somebody like you to be able to pick your brain. So much appreciated for you kind of hanging out. And if you guys don't know your guy, check him out. You can follow him. He has a YouTube channel. But I didn't
post anything, bud.
That's fine. I did leave the link in the description to your store. You do sell a lot of 10 scale drift stuff that's pretty cool, but you're expanding it out, right? Oh, there's the super rim that we saw him design.
Yeah. I have some. Oh, this one's too small, so I can't get in there.
Oh,
But
you
the,
got like actual bolts? Hold on, I'm gonna like show everybody. No way. All right, I'm gonna pee my pants. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna be bad news. But you guys won't know. But I'll be
right.
really embarrassed.
Everybody have a good one. I'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah,
Thank
Rick.
you, K-pop. Thank you so much for having me.
Ciao, man. All right, dudes. Like you guys heard me say, I gotta hit the break, man. I'm gonna die. So just give me a second, dudes. We're doing a pee break montage.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right, I'm back.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Sorry, dudes. I had to pee something fierce, man. I had to freaking pee. It was so bad. It was bad. We've got audio. Yeah, we got audio. Anyway, super massive shout out goes to Rick of Gear Guy. Gear Guy, man. If you guys are into, I don't know, if you want rims or scale accessories for 10 scale drift that like you couldn't get anywhere else, like you can't get at your local hobby shop, definitely go visit Gear Guy's website. Link is in the description. Also, we had Scale Builders Guild. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff with Scale Builders Guild, so if you want to subscribe to him, the link is also in the description. Thanks a lot, guys, for everybody that's added to this. Like, wow, we're really almost I got to really get on this giveaway so that I've got something ready after all of you dudes, sell out this freaking raffle. Looks like we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 spaces left for the RS200 raffle. It's kind of sick. Like, it's basically a D light chassis that has been kind of modified with a 3D printer to have a shorter wheelbase, which is pretty sick. And it's going to sit on a RS200 Lexan body, which should be pretty cool. I think I'm gonna try to make the back of the Lexan clamshell up like it does in real life, because that would be super sick. Here is the last iteration of the chassis. We're changing it up a little bit. I am putting the battery laying flat now, no longer sitting behind the seats. That's okay. But yeah, it looks super sick. So that's going to be a really cool build. Expect the next episode of this out soon. I've been working hard on it, but I think we're going to do some 5th scale content this weekend first before the RS200 episode comes out. But it's very close, and it is kind of cool. It is kind of cool. Maybe I can open SketchUp so you can kind of see where I'm at with that. It's super sweet. Let's see what you dudes are saying in the comments. Cheers, Gear Guy. Yeah. Later, Gear Guy. Everyone's saying bye. Totally Ontario shells. I don't know what that means, but yes. In Quebec, we buy beers everywhere. You do. You do. Although, I mean, it's starting to happen in Ontario. It's happening in Ontario. Just slowly. And if you don't want to buy it at the beer store, it's more expensive. Man. Dude, man. I don't look through. Dude, I lost like 15 pounds getting the Rona. You can see my freaking face is like, you want to lose some weight, man. Just start making out with people with rona, and you'd be great. You'd be good to go. Don't do it. But you'll lose a bunch of weight. So, damn. Let's see here. Yeah, I can't wait to see the living. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, the Baja stuff is pretty sick, actually. Maybe we can look at some of that stuff now that we don't have another guest. So I don't know if the audio. I feel like, oh, I didn't fix this, did I? All right, I'll fix this. The crappy thing is that I always freaking forget to set things up, and then I got all these issues. Well, let me see here. This needs to go down. Oh no. Camera, box two. Oh, there you go. Okay, we're good. We got this. Ha! Oh no, one up. Yeah. All right, we're good. Okay, so this should help me with all the stuff. P brake. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're having a pretty good time with these freaking Bajas on the weekend. You kind of forget how awesome these things are. And I remember telling Matt from Scale Builders Guild that these things are like lethargic. They've got this kind of like slow-mo feel to them when you're driving them because they're so heavy. And because they're so heavy, it just takes a lot of time for them to do what they're doing. And then that kind of just gives it a different feel. Like, I mean, we were talking about when Nash and I talk about the mild to wild scale of RC, wild definitely is like a Savage or like an Arma vehicle of some kind that's like 6S, 8 scale. It's freaking nutty. But it's a different thing. Like the 5th scale is there's just a different feel to it because there's no amount of energy that's going to make that thing move as much as a Savage or an Arma would. So I don't know. And when it passes you at full speed and the whole kind of ground shakes, I don't know. It's closer to a real car in that sense, I guess. I don't know. It's nutty. It's just a different thing. And hopefully we can capture that, in like the footage that we were like showing you guys. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Matt's reaction to a 5th scale is going to be like the best way because he's never really, hit up a car that's so heavy. And that might be a kind of a cool perspective for you guys to see. I'm not sure. But let's see here. What are you guys saying? Online Hobby Guide, more realistic feel and look, in my opinion. You can really see the weight. Yeah, you can really see the weight, and you really feel the delay of the input. So like you're gonna crank the wheels to the left, but there's so much weight that the car's gotta like skid into it. It's gotta catch. It's almost like it's so slow that you can kind of like see the physics working for you, which is kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, we're 11:49. I should definitely get onto the SAS. We should definitely do the scale as shit shout out. So let's get onto that, man. Let's get onto that. Oh, that's not where it starts.
Hashtag scale and shit.
Oh man, sorry dudes. Hopefully you guys have headphones on or whatever. Dang. Yeah, we're doing scale as shit shout outs. We're gonna go straight to Facebook. So if you guys aren't following on Facebook, definitely find me on Facebook. It's kpopRC. It's the same as YouTube. And join the community because it's like a wicked community of dudes like Drift Ill here. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his handle or whatever, but like this dude's builds some cool stuff, and he's posted his like Civic build here that is like the paint job is kind of fire. Like, I mean, I'm into it. I mean, if you're gonna follow design trends of 2022, it's all about solid color. I mean, I hate it, but it's all about I don't hate this. I just hate the design trends of 2022, which is all like solid colors and no depth. But on here, this looks sick because it's on a 3D form and there is depth. Super cool. Loving this thing. So Drift Ill. This is a sick freaking paint job. You did a really good job. Totally into it. I kind of like the lights on the back with the lines. Yeah, with these freaking lines here, man. Dude, so sick. And also hand done, which you can kind of see because like you can see his masking work. So this is like this isn't designed on a computer and then translated onto Lexan. This was done by hand with a Sharpie, and I think that's super cool, man. Obviously, it would have to be a rear-wheel drive conversion, online hobby guy. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big stickler on the like front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive stuff because like it seems that there are enough of these Hondas that have been converted completely. I mean, if you look at Jimmy Oaks's rear-wheel drive Civic build, that's a good example. A lot of the drag racer guys are making them four-wheel drive, but it is like a viscous differential in the center. So it only really sends power to the back wheels if the front wheels are spinning. So it's not like all-time like a Subaru thing or anything. So I don't know. We could argue about this. I kind of feel like if you got a body you want to make drift, you could just like make it drift. I mean, that's why we're into RC, is just to like do the things you would do if you didn't have the cash or whatever to do it in real life. Or maybe, I don't know. It is weird though. It's definitely a front wheel drive car drifting rear wheel drive. Anyway, RC Garage man with his E36. E36? Is this 33? I can't even remember what freaking chassis code this is, but it's a 3 Series BMW, like mid 90s. But also, if you look, he's got the scale as shit sticker. So if you guys want to buy these kinds of livery stickers, the hashtag scale is shit sticker there. I think Illust is mine there on the right side, and the scale is shit bumper. Definitely check out kpopRC.com. You can buy a whole bunch of sticker sheets. They're like ready to cut, and they're pretty 10 scale. Hopefully, man, I should probably get some feedback from the guys who bought them to make sure that they fit well. But yeah, super sick. This dude is always making the coolest stuff. Also, he bought the livery with the beer. So that Heineken comes from my sticker sheets as well. The Heineken label, which is sick. I think it does anyway. I'm pretty sure it does. I put all my favorite beers. That might not even be the one, but he's got this. You can see this dude knows where it's at. If you guys aren't following RC Garage on Instagram, definitely follow him. Seth here. Seth is building a 3D printed awesome freaking S chassis. That looks freaking awesome. Look at the door freaking frame and how scale all this is. And like, that's awesome. See, like, this is the coolest thing ever right now. The scale of your sheets is right on. Sweet. Scott Diesel, thank you. That's awesome. Scale Science, too old design. Oh, no, I should probably mention, though, because, like, there's a lot of stickers. I got it. There's a lot of stickers on here that are also from the Scale Science community. You know, stickers like that. You can see that's although this is the one that's kind of got the like iridescent. But I love the fact that the Scale Science guys, it's like science and it's the lab. You know, it's all about the lab. Something about that is just like pure fire. They sent me a whole package of stickers, and I just haven't gotten around to putting them on anything yet. But I will. It will happen. It's sitting here. It's protected. I know where it is, and we're good to go. But yeah, is that a DC Integra? Like I don't know. Is that in a DC Integra? Wait, no. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, this is not. Oh, maybe. Oh shit! You might be right. You might be right. This might be a JDM Integra with the JDM Integra front end. I don't know why. Like, for some reason, I thought this was like the S chassis, you know. But you might be right. That could be an Integra. What would give it away is the this window here, which is the same as the like Civic SIR window, which I'm assuming would then make it a Type R. Fudge. Let me know in the comments if you know what body style this is. I think the online hobby guy is right, and it's a DC Integra. I mean, in the States and Canada, they came with round headlights, two on each side. Kind of the sickest Integra, in my opinion, especially that's totally DC Integra. Okay, I'm totally wrong. You guys are totally right. DC Integra. I kind of feel like the giveaway is this freaking window right here. I mean, probably among other like 8 million other design features, but for me, I'm like, oh god, okay, I made a total mistake. This is definitely an Integra. It's the Integra I wanted, but they were too expensive even for me. But yeah, that's scale as shit from Facebook. We should I gotta share the screen, so you gotta bear with me for a second. I'm gonna like yes. Oh god, what? Oh right, of course. Okay, I'm gonna just set this up so we can get to the Instagram and we can like. Oh, I almost killed the stream. That would have been really bad. It's tough. 24 YouTubers watching. If you guys haven't thumbs up the video, please do. That would be kind of helpful, I guess. Scale as shit. I don't know. The channel died. The channel like totally died in June. And then I got COVID, and it just became a kind of like a hard thing to. Oh my god, scale of shit won't pop up. Oh, there it did. Okay, good. Oh, that's kind of awesome. Oh man, all dress, bro. Hold on. We're gonna share the screen. Here we go. Share screen. Bear with me. So much technology happening right here. Yeah, look, so scale. Remember where it all began? Yes, dude. I gotta like kind of go through my family's photo albums so we can like I can show you my I don't know 8-year-old self getting an RC car, man, because like yeah, this is where it all freaking came from. 100%, man. You're not the only one who had their views drop in June. Apparently a lot of YouTube channels did the same. Dude, it got rough. Like it like dropped like 90%. I would say like 90% just gone. And I was doing the same amount of content. It just like died. And then I contacted YouTube and they were like, no, everything looks fine. And you're like, you sons of bitch. That Smile Man said it. I know, right? Dude, that's sick. Also kind of sick that you got a highway hauler. Like that would be so cool right now. Also tell me that it wasn't wireless and it had like a wire and you had to like run along with it. So sick, so sick. Let's see here. Subscribe after your appearance on live stream. Thanks a lot, Jay Walker. Much appreciated, buddy. We do like a lot of stuff. I'm like trying to keep the channel going with these lives on Tuesdays, but they don't necessarily reflect how the channel's going. So like, this is just me hanging out with all of the like. I feel like this is like community, like a community live stream where we all get together and just like hang out and talk about cool stuff. Like Guillaume here with his awesome highway hauler. So yeah, so expect more videos coming out. I just kind of like it's just coming out of a rough spot, you know, where like couldn't breathe that well for a while. So we're working on it. We're gonna get back to full awesomeness. Scale Addiction. I don't know if he's created a video yet on YouTube for this, but I know he did for Instagram. This is 100% resin printed. Car jack. Oh, geez, the beer's working. So this thing will actually pump up, and it's like 100% resin printed. It's super sick. So if you guys aren't following Scale Addiction, definitely follow Scale Addiction. Also, sick photo, man, with your Scale Addiction in the background, dude. Come on, that looks really good. You can like, dude, you definitely made that happen. And I noticed, great work. That looks so sick. Scale modified RC. That looks so danger to the manifold, bro. Danger to the manifold. You owe me a 10-second car. I don't know. There's just something about. I kind of feel like I was into like the import scene before Fast and the Furious, and then when it came out, it just kind of angered me a little bit. But now, I mean, I kind of like it because whatever, it's the stupidest, funniest shit ever. But there's just something about how just awful all that stuff is in terms of like overdoing the modifications. I kind of feel like, hold on, we should go back here. I kind of feel like I see these, not Supra, because Supras are like worth 100K, but I see a lot of Civics like this in pick and pull junkyards now, and you're just like, you kind of stay away from them because you know it's going to be, you're not going to pull any decent parts out of that thing. Ooh, or was that a Talon? Is that a Talon? No, it's a Supra. Is it a Supra? At the back says Talon. Mitsubishi Eclipse. Oh God. Okay. Yes. Oh my God. I can't even believe it. I made that. You know why I confused it? Because this is like pure. Like if it was orange and it had that hand thing, it would just be like, oh yeah, that's it. No, this is an Eclipse, which is a car I would never buy because of Fast and the Furious. Is that weird? What's wrong with me? I'm drinking too much beer. Let's move on. Let's stop being negative. Monster parts, man. That is sick. That is sick. That is pure fire, man. Oh my God. Come on. That looks really good. God damn it. Brother. I gotta print a body for mine, which is like over there. My MT10. Oh God, I can't even remember what it's called. Yeah, there you go. Full first gen Eclipse TSI was awesome. I know it was awesome. It was awesome, but it wasn't awesome in that form. Like carbon fiber hood, neon paint job, some crappy freaking livery on the side. Like, I don't know. Like this generation of like modifying cars just kind of ruined the Eclipse for me. God damn it. I can't believe I made that mistake. That's stupid. The brain doesn't work that well. Monster parts, man. That's super sick. Oh yeah, so Jipper, man. So this is Jipper's. You can see it's like a Traxxas Slash that he's got for his like head tracking, brushless gimbaled FPV system. If you aren't following Jipper, man, definitely follow Jipper. Look how sick that truck looks like. Even though it's a Slash, that is a sick Slash. You can make anything cool. Eclipse is included. Eclipse is included. G-Wagon's included. Yes, dude, Woodbridge, those graphics at like 50 horsepower. I know, right? That's what I'm saying, man. You just throw a bunch of neon stickers and you put a laptop that says danger to manifold and you're good to go. You're good to go. Oh man, should I drink another beer? Probably shouldn't. Oh, all right, scale modified RC. That thing looks pretty good, I guess. I kind of want to see it crawl on some rocks, though. Is that all it can do? We should talk about it. Oh, my God, dude. I guess the only thing that would be weird is that the bricks don't fake the scale. And that's me being, like, stupid critical, which I shouldn't be. This is sick. This is a sick shot. The freaking swing with the tire is genius. The freaking plants, like the leaves don't look, the grass doesn't look too big. Maybe a little bit big. But somebody took a lot of time to make this like look really scale, and I appreciate it. And I feel like scale modified RC, that deserves a freaking heart. Awesome work, buddy. Hide Me From the Weather. Love the name, Hide Me From the Weather. That's sick. I love the like muted matte kind of like yellowy brown. Looks good. Looks good. Are these 124 scale or are they 10 scale? I don't know. Obviously full frame. Obviously, you're at like 2.8. Obviously, you got some serious shallow depth of field, and obviously, I love it. Dude, that looks freaking great. Good job, man. That looks cool too. That looks sick. The fact that you've got all that blurriness, dude, this guy knows how to take photos. This is the kind of stuff that it would be hard. I don't know. Maybe it's not hard with the iPhone anymore. Let's see here. Not my normal post, but something I've been enjoying a lot lately. Honestly, a little more than cars. I love that it gets me out of service and makes me explore and experience the PNW a little different than driving on the highways or cities. Try to get it as scale as possible and drive like so. It's so fun. I find myself happy when doing it, as corny as it sounds. I always love cars, but sometimes it's good to take a break and find your other hobbies out. Hope you all like a little video I put together too. Nice. Dude, yeah, of course, man. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's like important to like figure out your happy place, man. Try to go there sometimes. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like hide me from the weather knows, man. I feel like you know where it's at. And that's in the forest, maybe with a joint in your mouth. I don't know. Cold beer, joint, RC car, crawling, some seriousness. Looks good. Dude, I'm into it. I love it. That's good. Online hobby guy, man. Thanks a lot, buddy. I'm going to kill the stream. Oh, my God. We're almost done. Oh, dude. Scale modified RC. I want this car so bad. This is my dream car, man. The 22B, man. That's it. The two-door, like 98 Impreza, I guess. The two-door, though. 98, 99, 98. Can't remember which one it is, what year it is. But man, I would give I wouldn't not give anything, but like this would be the dream car. The shitty dream car that I would want. You know, 2-liter WRX JDM EJ20 or whatever. Oh, man, I would love that. Anyway, I'm gonna kill the stream because like it's late and right. Jay Walker knows how sick that is. Hold on, I'm gonna bring it back just to show you dudes again how awesome it is. God, I love that, man. Fart. You even got the fart can. Come on, it's perfect. It's freaking perfect. Look at how awesome. Scale modified RC, dude. You know where it's at. And we're gonna kill the stream, dudes. Thanks a lot for coming out, hanging out on Tall Can Tuesday. Another Tuesday done and dusted, man. Holy moly, the weeks are rolling by. Stay tuned for the awesome Scale Builders Guild setup video on like the weekend. That's going to happen. Then, Scale Builders Guild, maybe Nash and we're going to have 3 Bajas running together. We're going to get a whole bunch of just his experience on trying 5th scale for the first time. I think that would be kind of cool. So that was kind of wicked. But yeah, thanks a lot, dudes, for coming out, hanging out on Tall Can Tuesday. We're going to see you guys next week. We're going to do this again on Tuesday. Hopefully we get a couple of guests. And cheers to beers, fellas. Thanks for coming and hanging out. 21 of you dudes still watching. I don't even know how that happened. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out. And thanks a lot for the people that entered the RS200 giveaway. If you want to come and support kpopRC, go to kpopRC.com, buy some stickers. Any purchase that you make on kpopRC.com is going to enter you to win some kind of raffle. Not the RS200 giveaway, but definitely a giveaway of some kind. You know, like the Hilux cage that you could definitely win. But yeah, cheers to beers, bros. Have a good freaking week. Hopefully this helps out with the week, getting through it, because I know weeks suck sometimes, especially if you're working Monday to Friday. See you guys next time. Wait, where's my beer? I don't even have a beer. I should have cracked it on. Have a good one, guys. Cheers to beers, bros. Yeah.